The confrontation unfolds in a space no larger than a clenched fist. A probing claw from an encroaching crab slips into the narrow entrance of a rocky burrow, expecting an easy eviction of a seemingly insignificant occupant. Instead, the water detonates with a shockwave so violent that the invader recoils instantly, its shell fractured and its confidence shattered. The strike was faster than the eye can follow, an explosive release of stored energy that transforms a tiny crustacean into one of the most formidable combatants in the marine world. This is the realm of the mantis shrimp, an animal whose survival depends not on size or endurance in prolonged battles, but on the capacity to end conflict almost before it begins. In ecosystems where hesitation invites disaster, the mantis shrimp thrives by making violence brief, decisive, and overwhelmingly disproportionate. At the core of this extraordinary resilience lies one of the most sophisticated biomechanical systems in the natural world. Smashing species of mantis shrimp possess highly specialized raptorial appendages that function as biological hammers. These structures operate through a latch-mediated spring actuation mechanism in which muscular energy is slowly stored within elastic components of the exoskeleton. When released, this stored energy accelerates the appendage with astonishing speed, producing impacts capable of fracturing the shells of mollusks and crustaceans. The force generated is so intense that it creates cavitation bubbles in the surrounding water. As these bubbles collapse, they produce secondary shockwaves and bursts of heat and light, amplifying the destructive effect of the strike. This dual mechanism ensures that prey and potential aggressors are incapacitated almost instantaneously, minimizing the risk of prolonged confrontation that could expose the mantis shrimp to injury or displacement. This capacity for explosive force introduces a compelling narrative reversal. The mantis shrimp's relatively small size might suggest vulnerability within the densely populated and competitive environments of coral reefs and rocky substrates. However, its ability to deliver rapid and devastating strikes transforms it from potential victim to dominant defender of its territory. Rather than enduring the cumulative damage associated with extended sankersh, the mantis shrimp prevents such scenarios from unfolding at all. Its survival strategy is rooted in preemptive resolution, ensuring that threats are neutralized before they can escalate into sustained battles. The mantis shrimp's exoskeleton further enhances its resilience, particularly in the regions subjected to repeated high-impact forces. The striking appendages are reinforced with a complex hierarchical structure composed of mineralized and organic layers arranged in a helicoidal pattern. This configuration dissipates stress and prevents catastrophic failure during repeated impacts, allowing the appendage to withstand forces that would fracture conventional materials. The dactyl club, the terminal portion of the appendage, is among the most impact-resistant biological structures known, inspiring biomimetic research into advanced composite materials. Through this remarkable integration of strength and flexibility, the mantis shrimp achieves a balance between offensive capability and structural durability, ensuring its continued effectiveness in both predation and defense. Equally integral to the mantis shrimp's survival is its reliance on a burrow-centered lifestyle. These crustaceans typically inhabit self-excavated or appropriated cavities within reefs, rubble fields, or sandy substrates. The burrow serves as both a refuge from predators and a strategic base from which the mantis shrimp can monitor its surroundings. By restricting interactions to the confined space of the burrow entrance, the animal exerts control over the spatial dynamics of encounters, effectively funneling potential threats into a predictable and defensible position. This spatial control reduces exposure to open water predators and allows the mantis shrimp to leverage its striking capabilities with maximum efficiency. The burrow thus functions as an extension of the animal's defensive strategy, transforming environmental architecture into a critical component of its survival. Perhaps the most astonishing aspect of the mantis shrimp's biology is its visual system, which ranks among the most complex in the animal kingdom. Each compound eye is mounted on a mobile stalk, granting the animal an exceptional field of view and the ability to track movement independently with each eye. The eyes contain numerous photoreceptor types sensitive to a wide range of wavelengths, including ultraviolet and polarized light. This advanced visual capability enables the mantis shrimp to detect subtle environmental cues, identify prey, and recognize conspecifics with remarkable precision. Polarization sensitivity, in particular, plays a crucial role in communication and territorial interactions, allowing individuals to perceive signals invisible to most other marine organisms. This sensory sophistication enhances situational awareness, ensuring that the mantis shrimp can anticipate and respond to threats before physical confrontation becomes necessary. The ecological role of the mantis shrimp extends beyond its immediate interactions with prey and predators. As both a predator and an ecosystem engineer, it influences the structure and dynamics of benthic communities. By preying on hard-shelled organisms, mantis shrimp help regulate populations of mollusks and crustaceans, contributing to the balance of reef ecosystems. Additionally, their burrowing activities modify sediment composition and create microhabitats that support a variety of other organisms. These ecological contributions underscore the broader significance of the mantis shrimp within marine environments, illustrating how even small species can exert substantial influence on ecosystem processes. Reproductive behavior introduces another layer of complexity to the mantis shrimp's survival strategy. Many species form monogamous pairs that share and defend a burrow, engaging in cooperative activities such as brood care. Eggs are often carried and aerated by the female, ensuring optimal conditions for embryonic development. This parental investment enhances offspring survival and reinforces the stability of established territories. The formation of long-term pair bonds also reduces the energetic costs associated with repeated territorial disputes, further contributing to the species' resilience in competitive environments. The mantis shrimp's life history exemplifies a delicate balance between aggression and caution. While its striking appendages provide unparalleled offensive capabilities, the animal remains highly selective in its engagements, relying on sensory assessment and spatial control to avoid unnecessary jokim. This strategic restraint reflects an understanding, encoded through evolutionary processes, that survival is not solely dependent on the ability to inflict damage but also on the capacity to minimize exposure to it. By resolving conflicts swiftly and decisively, the mantis shrimp conserves energy and reduces the likelihood of injury, ensuring long-term persistence within its ecological niche. From an evolutionary perspective, the mantis shrimp represents a lineage that has refined its adaptations over millions of years to occupy a specialized yet highly successful ecological role. The integration of biomechanical innovation, sensory sophistication, and behavioral strategy illustrates the multifaceted nature of resilience in the natural world. Each adaptation reinforces the others, creating a cohesive system in which offense, defense, and environmental integration are seamlessly intertwined. Human fascination with the mantis shrimp has extended beyond ecological and evolutionary studies into the realm of technological innovation. The unique structural properties of the dactyl club have inspired research into impact-resistant materials, while the animal's visual system has informed advances in optical engineering and imaging technologies. These applications highlight the broader significance of the mantis shrimp as a model for understanding and replicating complex biological systems. The narrative reversal at the heart of the mantis shrimp's existence lies in the transformation of perceived insignificance into overwhelming capability. What initially appears to be a minor inhabitant of the reef is revealed to be a master of controlled violence and environmental manipulation. Its survival is not predicated on enduring prolonged hardship, but on preventing such hardship from arising through decisive action and strategic positioning. This perspective challenges conventional notions of strength and resilience, emphasizing the importance of efficiency and specialization in the face of ecological adversity. As the reef returns to its rhythmic equilibrium, the mantis shrimp remains concealed within its burrow, an unseen guardian of its territory. The surrounding environment bears subtle evidence of its presence: fractured shells, rearranged sediments, and the silent acknowledgement of neighboring organisms that avoid its domain. In this diminutive yet formidable creature, the ocean reveals a profound lesson: that resilience is not solely a function of size or endurance, but of the capacity to control the terms of engagement with the surrounding world. Through its extraordinary adaptations and ecological influence, the mantis shrimp stands as a testament to the power of evolutionary ingenuity, demonstrating that even the smallest inhabitants of the sea can wield a level of impact far exceeding their physical dimensions. A shadow glides silently over a patch of rippled sand, its outline unmistakable to the hunting barracuda circling above. In the next instant, the shadow dissolves. The predator lunges at empty water, confused, as the seabed itself seems to shift and rearrange. What moments earlier appeared to be a vulnerable, soft-bodied mollusk has vanished into a seamless imitation of its surroundings. Beneath this illusion, the cuttlefish remains perfectly still, its skin orchestrating a symphony of cellular transformations that rewrite its identity in real time. In an ocean where softness often equates to vulnerability, the cuttlefish survives through a paradox. It endures not by resisting punishment, but by ensuring that punishment rarely finds its target. The cuttlefish's most extraordinary adaptation lies within its skin, a dynamic interface between organism and environment that functions as one of the most sophisticated camouflage systems in the natural world. Embedded within this living canvas are specialized pigment-containing cells known as chromatophores, layered above iridophores and leucophores that manipulate light through structural reflection and scattering. Under precise neural control, these cells expand or contract in milliseconds, allowing the cuttlefish to alter not only its color, but also its pattern and brightness. This rapid transformation enables the animal to replicate the visual texture of sand, coral rubble, or seagrass with remarkable fidelity. Beyond simple color matching, the cuttlefish can produce disruptive patterns that break up its body outline, a strategy known as disruptive coloration, effectively confusing the visual processing systems of predators. This capacity for instantaneous disguise transforms the surrounding habitat into an extension of the animal's own body, rendering detection an elusive challenge. Yet camouflage alone does not define the cuttlefish's resilience. The narrative reversal emerges when concealment fails and the animal transitions seamlessly from invisibility to rapid escape. Jet propulsion, achieved by forcefully expelling water through a muscular siphon, allows the cuttlefish to accelerate suddenly and unpredictably. While energetically costly, this mode of locomotion provides a critical last line of defense, enabling the animal to evade predators during moments when stealth is no longer sufficient. The efficiency of this escape mechanism is enhanced by the cuttlefish's lateral fins, which provide fine control and maneuverability during slower, energy-efficient swimming. This dual locomotor system exemplifies a strategic balance between endurance and rapid response, ensuring that the cuttlefish remains adaptable across a spectrum of environmental conditions. Complementing these physical defenses is the deployment of ink, a biochemical and visual weapon that introduces chaos into the predator-prey interaction. When threatened, the cuttlefish releases a cloud of melanin-rich ink that obscures the predator's vision and disrupts its sensory perception. In some instances, the ink forms a pseudomorph, a cohesive mass resembling the shape of the cuttlefish itself, diverting the predator's attack toward a decoy while the real animal escapes. Beyond its visual effects, the ink contains chemical compounds believed to interfere with olfactory and gustatory receptors, further disorienting the predator. This multifaceted defense underscores the cuttlefish's reliance on sensory manipulation, transforming moments of vulnerability into opportunities for evasion. Central to the cuttlefish's buoyancy and mobility is the internal cuttlebone, a unique calcareous structure composed of a series of gas-filled chambers. By regulating the ratio of gas to liquid within these chambers, the cuttlefish achieves precise control over its buoyancy, allowing it to hover effortlessly within the water column. This capability minimizes the energetic demands of maintaining position and facilitates seamless transitions between benthic and pelagic environments. The cuttlebone thus represents a critical adaptation that enhances both ecological versatility and metabolic efficiency, enabling the cuttlefish to exploit a wide range of habitats while conserving energy. The cuttlefish's survival strategy is further enriched by its advanced nervous system, which ranks among the most complex of all invertebrates. Possessing a large centralized brain and highly developed optic lobes, the cuttlefish exhibits sophisticated behaviors indicative of learning, memory, and problem-solving abilities. Its eyes, structurally analogous to those of vertebrates, provide acute visual acuity and sensitivity to polarized light, enhancing the detection of prey and predators alike. This neurological sophistication allows the cuttlefish to assess environmental cues rapidly and select the most appropriate defensive or predatory response. The ability to switch between strategies, camouflage, signaling, startling displays, and escape, reflects a level of behavioral flexibility that is rare among marine organisms. Intriguingly, the cuttlefish's dynamic skin also serves as a medium for communication. Through the generation of complex visual signals, individuals can convey information related to mating, territoriality, and social interactions. Some species employ deceptive signaling, presenting different patterns on each side of the body to communicate simultaneously with multiple individuals. This capacity for visual communication highlights the dual role of camouflage, not only as a defensive mechanism, but also as a tool for social engagement. The narrative reversal becomes evident once more. The same system that conceals the cuttlefish from predators also enables intricate interactions within its own species, illustrating the multifunctional nature of evolutionary adaptations. Ecologically, cuttlefish occupy a pivotal position within marine food webs. As active predators of crustaceans, mollusks, and small fishes, they exert significant influence on the structure of benthic and pelagic communities. Their hunting strategy combines stealth with rapid tentacular extension, allowing them to capture prey with remarkable precision. This predatory role contributes to the regulation of invertebrate populations, thereby maintaining ecological balance within their habitats. At the same time, cuttlefish serve as prey for a variety of larger marine animals, including sharks, dolphins, and seabirds, underscoring their integral role in the transfer of energy through marine ecosystems. The life history of the cuttlefish introduces an additional layer of complexity to its survival narrative. Most species exhibit relatively short lifespans, often culminating in a single, energetically intensive reproductive event. During this period, individuals engage in elaborate courtship displays and competitive interactions, after which they lay eggs and subsequently die. This semilparous reproductive strategy reflects a trade-off between longevity and reproductive output, ensuring that sufficient resources are allocated to the next generation. The eggs themselves are often deposited in sheltered locations and may be coated with ink, providing camouflage and protection from predation. This life cycle emphasizes the transient yet impactful presence of cuttlefish within marine ecosystems, highlighting the importance of adaptability and reproductive investment in species persistence. From an evolutionary perspective, the cuttlefish belongs to the class Cephalopoda, a lineage characterized by remarkable morphological and behavioral innovations. The reduction of the external shell, coupled with the development of advanced sensory and neural systems, has enabled cephalopods to become some of the most versatile and successful invertebrate predators in the ocean. The cuttlefish's unique combination of buoyancy control, dynamic camouflage, and behavioral flexibility exemplifies the evolutionary potential of this group, demonstrating how the integration of multiple adaptations can facilitate survival in complex and competitive environments. Despite their resilience, cuttlefish populations are increasingly influenced by anthropogenic pressures, including habitat degradation, pollution, and climate change. Ocean warming and acidification can affect the structural integrity of the cuttlebone, while overfishing may disrupt ecological balances within their habitats. Understanding the ecological significance of cuttlefish is therefore essential for informing conservation strategies aimed at preserving marine biodiversity. Their sensitivity to environmental changes also positions them as valuable indicators of ecosystem health, providing insights into the broader impacts of human activities on marine systems. The ecological twist that defines the cuttlefish's existence lies in its ability to remain perpetually unpredictable. What appears to be a defenseless, soft-bodied organism is revealed to be a master of transformation, capable of shifting between multiple defensive and predatory strategies with astonishing speed. This versatility ensures that no single predator can easily anticipate or counter its behavior, effectively preventing the establishment of stable predator-prey dynamics. The cuttlefish survives by denying its adversaries the opportunity to adapt, embodying a form of resilience rooted in perpetual change. As the underwater landscape settles into the gentle rhythms of twilight, the cuttlefish resumes its silent patrol, its form blending seamlessly with the shifting hues of the seabed. In this quiet mastery of disguise and adaptability, the animal encapsulates a profound lesson about survival in the natural world. Strength does not always manifest through physical robustness or dominance. It can emerge from the capacity to remain elusive, to adapt continuously, and to transform vulnerability into advantage. The cuttlefish stands as a testament to the power of versatility, demonstrating that in the ever-changing theater of the ocean, the ability to become something else entirely may be the most formidable defense of all. The ambush unfolds with ruthless precision. A reef predator lunges from concealment, jaws opening wide to engulf what appears to be a small, slow, and easily manageable fish. For a fraction of a second, the outcome seems inevitable. Then the geometry of the encounter collapses. The prey begins to swell, its body expanding with astonishing speed, transforming from a streamlined silhouette into a rigid, spherical barricade. Spines erupt outward, distorting the predator's grip, and what was meant to be a swift ingestion becomes an awkward and potentially fatal miscalculation. In this instant of biological reversal, the pufferfish demonstrates a survival strategy that does not prevent the attack, but instead sabotages it after it has already begun. The predator's certainty dissolves into hesitation, discomfort, and in many cases, mortal danger. The pufferfish's defining adaptation, inflation, is a masterpiece of physiological engineering rooted in the modification of the digestive and respiratory systems. Unlike most teleost fishes, puffers possess an exceptionally elastic stomach capable of expanding to many times its resting volume. When threatened, the fish rapidly ingests water, or air, when removed from the aquatic environment, using powerful buccal pumping mechanisms. Specialized folds within the stomach unfold to accommodate this sudden influx, while the surrounding connective tissues maintain structural integrity under extreme internal pressure. Simultaneously, the puffer's skin, largely devoid of rigid scales, stretches to envelop the expanding body. Embedded dermal spines, typically lying flat against the surface, become erect during inflation, transforming the fish into a formidable, spine-covered sphere. This rapid morphological transformation fundamentally alters the predator-prey interaction, converting a manageable target into an object that is difficult to grasp, manipulate, or swallow. The mechanical consequences of inflation extend beyond simple enlargement. By increasing its effective diameter, the pufferfish exceeds the gape limitation of many predators, rendering ingestion physically impossible. Even for predators capable of accommodating the increased size, the spherical shape disrupts the mechanics of swallowing, increasing the risk of choking or internal injury. The erected spines further complicate handling, creating a painful deterrent that can damage the sensitive tissues of a predator's mouth and throat. This combination of size augmentation and structural armament represents a sophisticated exploitation of biomechanical constraints, ensuring that the predator's initial advantage is rapidly neutralized. Yet the pufferfish's defense does not end with mechanical deterrence. Beneath its deceptively benign exterior lies one of the most potent chemical arsenals in the marine environment, tetrodotoxin. This neurotoxin, among the most lethal known in nature, functions by blocking voltage-gated sodium channels in nerve and muscle cells, preventing the propagation of electrical impulses essential for muscle contraction and neural communication. The result is rapid paralysis, respiratory failure, and in severe cases, death. Intriguingly, the pufferfish does not synthesize tetrodotoxin independently. Instead, the toxin is produced by symbiotic bacteria associated with the fish's tissues, particularly the liver, ovaries, and skin. Through dietary intake and microbial symbiosis, the puffer accumulates and concentrates this toxin, transforming its body into a chemically defended fortress. This relationship with toxin-producing bacteria introduces a profound ecological twist. What appears to be an individual defense mechanism is, in reality, the product of a hidden symbiotic network. The pufferfish's lethality is not solely an intrinsic trait, but a manifestation of its ecological interactions with microbial partners. This symbiosis exemplifies the intricate interconnectedness of marine ecosystems, where survival often depends on alliances invisible to the naked eye. The predator that attempts to consume a puffer is not merely confronting a single organism, but an entire biochemical consortium capable of delivering a fatal outcome. The presence of tetrodotoxin has far-reaching implications for predator behavior and community dynamics. Many predators learn to recognize and avoid puffers based on visual cues, such as distinctive coloration and body shape, illustrating a form of aposematism, warning signals that advertise toxicity. In regions where puffers are abundant, this learned avoidance can influence predator foraging strategies, redirecting predation pressure toward less defended species. Consequently, the pufferfish contributes to the structuring of ecological communities, not only through its own survival, but also by shaping the behavioral landscape of its predators. Beyond defense, the pufferfish exhibits remarkable adaptations related to feeding and ecological specialization. Equipped with a beak-like dental structure formed by fused teeth, puffers are capable of exerting significant bite forces, enabling them to crush hard-shelled prey such as mollusks, crustaceans, and echinoderms. This dietary versatility allows puffers to exploit ecological niches that are inaccessible to many other fishes, reducing competition and enhancing their resilience in diverse habitats ranging from coral reefs to seagrass beds and open coastal waters. The continuous growth of their teeth necessitates regular wear through feeding, linking their morphological specialization directly to their ecological role. The metabolic demands associated with inflation and toxin maintenance present unique physiological challenges. Inflation is an energetically expensive process that temporarily impairs the puffer's mobility and respiratory efficiency. During this state, the fish relies on the deterrent effects of its defenses rather than escape. Following the threat, the expulsion of ingested water and the restoration of normal body shape require additional energy, emphasizing the importance of efficient metabolic regulation. Furthermore, the sequestration and tolerance of tetrodotoxin necessitates specialized biochemical adaptations that prevent self-intoxication. Modifications to the puffer's own sodium channels render them resistant to the toxin's effects, allowing the fish to harbor lethal concentrations without compromising its physiological function. Reproductive strategies in pufferfish further illustrate their integration into complex ecological systems. Many species engage in elaborate spawning behaviors, with males constructing intricate circular nests on sandy substrates to attract females. These geometric formations, sculpted through precise fin movements, not only serve as mating displays, but also enhance the survival prospects of developing embryos by optimizing water flow and sediment stability. Such behaviors reveal a level of environmental manipulation that contrasts sharply with the puffer's otherwise defensive reputation, highlighting the multifaceted nature of its ecological interactions. The narrative reversal, central to the pufferfish's story, lies in the transformation of apparent weakness into overwhelming strength. Initially perceived as a slow and vulnerable prey item, the puffer reveals itself to be a master of defensive innovation, capable of altering the outcome of predatory encounters through a combination of mechanical, chemical, and symbiotic strategies. This reversal challenges conventional assumptions about the determinants of survival in the marine environment, demonstrating that resilience can arise from the ability to disrupt, rather than evade, the processes of predation. Human interactions with pufferfish add another dimension to their ecological significance. In certain cultures, particularly in parts of East Asia, pufferfish are prepared as a delicacy known for both its culinary appeal and inherent danger. The preparation of this dish requires specialized training to remove toxic organs safely, underscoring the potent lethality of tetrodotoxin. While this practice highlights the complex relationship between humans and marine organisms, it also emphasizes the importance of understanding and respecting the biological mechanisms that underpin the puffer's survival. From an evolutionary perspective, the pufferfish exemplifies the concept of adaptive innovation in response to predation pressure. The integration of morphological, physiological, and ecological traits into a cohesive survival strategy reflects the dynamic interplay between organisms and their environments over evolutionary timescales. The ability to inflate, harbor toxins, and communicate danger through visual signals represents a multifaceted defense system that has enabled puffers to persist across diverse marine ecosystems. As the predator withdraws, abandoning its failed attack, the pufferfish slowly releases the water that transformed it into an unmanageable sphere. Its body returns to a streamlined form, and the spines settle once more against the skin, concealing the formidable defenses that lie beneath its unassuming appearance. The reef resumes its rhythm, yet the encounter leaves an indelible imprint on the predator's behavioral memory. reinforcing the lesson that not all prey are what they seem. In the grand tapestry of marine life, the pufferfish stands as a testament to the power of transformation and symbiosis. Its survival strategy is not predicated on speed, strength, or concealment, but on the capacity to redefine the terms of engagement after danger has already arrived. By converting vulnerability into a catalyst for defensive escalation, the pufferfish embodies a form of resilience that is both elegant and formidable. Through its unique adaptations and ecological influence, it reveals that survival in the ocean is often less about avoiding conflict and more about ensuring that any conflict becomes a costly and regrettable endeavor for those who initiate it. A shadow glides silently across the reef, its jaws poised for a swift and effortless meal. The target appears defenseless, motionless, slow, and fully exposed against the hard substrate. Yet the moment contact is attempted, the illusion of vulnerability shatters. A forest of needle-like spines pivots with startling precision, transforming passive stillness into an active defense system. The predator hesitates, probing cautiously, only to recoil as the spines press back with mechanical inevitability. What seemed to be an easy opportunity reveals itself as a calculated trap, a living fortress that survives not through speed or concealment, but by making every act of predation painfully expensive. The sea urchin embodies a biological paradox. An organism so simple in form and movement that it appears defenseless, yet so effectively armed that it reshapes entire ecosystems through its persistence alone. Encased within a rigid spherical shell known as a test, the sea urchin's architecture represents an evolutionary triumph of structural engineering. This test is composed of interlocking calcareous plates arranged in a pentaradial symmetry, distributing mechanical stress evenly across the body and providing resistance against crushing forces. Unlike the articulated exoskeletons of crustaceans, the urchin's test forms a continuous dome, minimizing weak points and creating a stable platform from which defensive structures can operate. Embedded within this shell are thousands of tiny pores through which extend tube feet, hydraulic appendages powered by the water vascular system. These tube feet allow the urchin to adhere to substrates with remarkable tenacity, resisting dislodgement by waves or predators, while simultaneously enabling slow but deliberate movement across the seafloor. This combination of structural integrity and hydraulic adhesion ensures that the urchin remains anchored within its environment, a seemingly immovable presence in the dynamic turbulence of marine ecosystems. Radiating from the test, the sea urchin's spines form its most conspicuous and formidable line of defense. Constructed from calcite and articulated through a ball and socket joint at their base, these spines possess a surprising degree of mobility. Muscles and connective tissues allow them to pivot toward points of contact, effectively transforming the urchin into a responsive defensive sphere. In many species, the spines are not merely physical deterrents, but also vehicles for venom delivery. The long, hollow spines of certain tropical urchins can penetrate soft tissue and introduce toxins that induce intense pain, inflammation, and, in some cases, systemic physiological effects. Complementing these spines are pedicellariae, minute pincer-like appendages scattered across the surface of the test. These structures function as both defensive and hygienic tools, capable of grasping small predators, removing parasites, and in venomous species, injecting additional toxins. Together, the spines and pedicellariae create a multi-layered defense system that transforms apparent vulnerability into a highly effective deterrent. At the center of the sea urchin's feeding apparatus lies one of the most remarkable structures in marine biology, Aristotle's lantern. This intricate arrangement of calcareous plates and muscles supports 5 continuously growing teeth, enabling the urchin to scrape algae from hard surfaces with relentless efficiency. The lantern operates with mechanical precision, allowing the urchin to exploit food resources inaccessible to many other herbivores. This feeding strategy positions the sea urchin as a keystone grazer within many marine ecosystems. By controlling algal growth, urchins can maintain the balance necessary for coral recruitment and reef health. However, when predator populations decline, or environmental conditions favor urchin proliferation, their grazing can intensify to the point of ecological transformation. Dense aggregations of urchins can strip vast areas of macroalgae, creating so-called urchin barrens, expanses of denuded substrate characterized by reduced biodiversity and altered trophic dynamics. In this context, the sea urchin's survival strategy extends beyond individual endurance to encompass ecosystem engineering on a landscape scale. This ecological influence introduces a profound narrative reversal. While the sea urchin appears to be a passive victim within the marine food web, its collective impact can invert traditional predator-prey relationships. In regions where predators such as sea otters or large fish are diminished, urchin populations can expand unchecked, fundamentally restructuring habitats and influencing the distribution of numerous species. Conversely, the recovery of predator populations can suppress urchin densities, allowing kelp forests and coral communities to regenerate. Thus, the sea urchin exists at the nexus of trophic cascades, its presence or absence capable of dictating the ecological trajectory of entire marine systems. What seems to be a humble grazer is, in reality, a powerful agent of environmental change. The sensory capabilities of sea urchins further challenge assumptions about their simplicity. Despite lacking centralized eyes or a conventional brain, urchins possess a decentralized nervous system capable of sophisticated environmental perception. Photoreceptive cells distributed across the body surface allow them to detect changes in light intensity and direction, effectively granting a form of spatial awareness. Research has demonstrated that the arrangement of spines and tube feet can function collectively as a compound visual system, enabling urchins to orient towards shelter or away from potential threats. Chemoreceptors provide additional information about the presence of food, predators, and conspecifics, facilitating behavioral responses that enhance survival. This distributed sensory network exemplifies an alternative evolutionary pathway to environmental awareness, one that relies on collective integration rather than centralized processing. Reproduction in sea urchins underscores their strategy of persistence through abundance and dispersal. Most species reproduce via broadcast spawning, releasing vast quantities of gametes into the water column where fertilization occurs externally. The resulting planktonic larvae, known as echinopleutei, drift with ocean currents, dispersing genetic material across considerable distances. This life history strategy not only enhances population connectivity, but also enables rapid colonization of suitable habitats following disturbances. Environmental cues such as temperature fluctuations, lunar cycles, and chemical signals from conspecifics often synchronize spawning events, maximizing the likelihood of successful fertilization. The capacity for widespread dispersal ensures that sea urchin populations can rebound from localized declines, reinforcing their resilience within fluctuating marine environments. Another layer of endurance is revealed through the sea urchin's ability to modify its immediate surroundings for protection. Many species engage in covering behavior, using their tube feet and pedicellariae to place fragments of shell, algae, or debris atop their bodies. This behavior provides multiple benefits, including camouflage from visual predators, protection from ultraviolet radiation, and stabilization against hydrodynamic forces. Such actions demonstrate that the sea urchin is not merely a passive inhabitant of the seafloor, but an active participant in shaping its microhabitat to enhance survival. The simplicity of its body plan belies a repertoire of behaviors finely tuned to environmental challenges. The regenerative capacity of sea urchins further contributes to their resilience. Damaged spines and pedicellariae can be replaced over time, ensuring that the integrity of their defensive systems is maintained despite repeated encounters with predators or environmental stresses. Additionally, their mutable collagenous tissues allow for rapid changes in mechanical properties, enabling the urchin to adjust the stiffness of its body in response to external forces. This unique feature, characteristic of echinoderms, facilitates both defense and locomotion, providing a dynamic response to the physical demands of their habitat. Human interactions with sea urchins introduce a complex dimension to their ecological narrative. In some regions, overfishing of urchin predators has led to population explosions and the formation of extensive barrens, prompting conservation and management efforts aimed at restoring ecological balance. Conversely, targeted harvesting of urchins for their gonads, considered a delicacy in many cultures, has necessitated the development of sustainable fisheries to prevent over-exploitation. These dynamics highlight the sea urchin's dual identity as both an ecological engineer and a valuable economic resource, underscoring the intricate connections between natural systems and human societies. Ultimately, the sea urchin's survival strategy is defined by the transformation of vulnerability into enduring strength. Its slow movement and exposed position on the seafloor are counterbalanced by a sophisticated array of defensive, sensory, and ecological adaptations that ensure persistence in the face of constant threat. The narrative reversal at the heart of its existence reveals that dominance in the natural world does not always arise from speed, intelligence, or physical grandeur. Instead, it can emerge from the relentless application of simple yet effective strategies, amplified across populations to shape entire ecosystems. As the reef settles back into its rhythmic equilibrium, the sea urchin remains, a silent, armored sentinel amid the shifting currents of life. Its spines sway gently with the movement of the water, a constant reminder that survival in the ocean often depends not on avoiding confrontation, but on redefining its terms. Through structural ingenuity, ecological influence, and unwavering persistence, the sea urchin exemplifies a form of endurance that is both understated and profoundly transformative. In the grand narrative of marine ecosystems, it stands as a testament to the power of resilience, proving that even the most unassuming organisms can wield an influence as vast and enduring as the oceans they inhabit. The ocean appears calm, but beneath its surface, a silent marathon is already underway. A colossal shadow moves steadily through the open sea, propelled by powerful strokes of its tail, carrying within it the energy reserves of an entire season. Months have passed since this giant last fed, yet it continues its journey with unwavering determination. The humpback whale is not merely traveling, it is enduring one of the most demanding migrations in the animal kingdom, traversing vast oceanic distances between nutrient-rich polar feeding grounds and tropical breeding waters where food is scarce. This immense voyage is a testament to a survival strategy built not on immediacy, but on the careful accumulation and strategic expenditure of energy. In the relentless calculus of the ocean, the humpback whale survives by transforming stored abundance into long-term persistence, embodying endurance on a monumental scale. The humpback whale's immense body is a masterpiece of physiological engineering designed to withstand extreme ecological transitions. Central to this resilience is its thick layer of blubber, which functions simultaneously as thermal insulation, buoyancy control, and a vital energy reserve. In the frigid waters of high-latitude feeding grounds, this adipose tissue minimizes heat loss by creating an effective barrier between the whale's core and the surrounding environment. The countercurrent heat exchange systems within the whale's circulatory network further enhance this thermal efficiency, conserving metabolic heat and ensuring stable internal temperatures despite dramatic external fluctuations. As the whale migrates toward warmer breeding grounds, the same blubber becomes a metabolic lifeline, sustaining vital bodily functions during prolonged periods of fasting when prey availability diminishes or disappears entirely. This reliance on stored energy introduces a profound narrative reversal. While the humpback's massive size might suggest vulnerability due to the enormous energetic demands required to maintain such a body, it is precisely this scale that enables its survival. The accumulation of vast lipid reserves during feeding seasons allows the whale to endure months without sustenance, fueling not only migration, but also the energetically expensive processes of reproduction and lactation. In this context, size transforms from a potential liability into a strategic advantage, providing the physiological capital necessary to navigate the cyclical scarcity of oceanic ecosystems. Feeding behavior in humpback whales further illustrates the intricate relationship between biology and environment. In nutrient-rich polar waters, humpbacks employ a remarkable strategy known as bubble net feeding. Through coordinated movements, individuals release spiraling curtains of bubbles that corral schools of fish or krill into dense aggregations. The whales then ascend through the trapped prey with mouths agape, engulfing vast quantities of food in a single lunge. This behavior exemplifies both anatomical specialization and social cooperation. The pleated grooves along the whale's throat expand dramatically during feeding, allowing the ingestion of immense volumes of water and prey, while baleen plates filter the captured organisms as the water is expelled. Such efficiency enables humpbacks to rapidly accumulate the energy reserves necessary for their subsequent migrations. The migratory journeys of humpback whales represent one of the most extraordinary endurance feats in the natural world. These whales travel thousands of kilometers between feeding and breeding grounds, navigating through diverse oceanic conditions that include variations in temperature, salinity, and prey distribution. Orientation during these migrations is believed to involve a combination of geomagnetic cues, celestial navigation, and acoustic landmarks, reflecting a sophisticated integration of sensory information. The ability to undertake such extensive movements ensures access to optimal habitats for both feeding and reproduction, reinforcing the species' resilience in the face of environmental variability. Reproduction imposes additional energetic challenges that further highlight the humpback whale's endurance. Female humpbacks invest heavily in the development and nurturing of their calves, relying almost entirely on stored energy reserves during the breeding season. The production of milk with exceptionally high fat content supports rapid calf growth, enabling the young whales to acquire the insulation necessary for survival in colder waters upon their return to feeding grounds. This maternal investment is accompanied by vigilant protective behavior, as mothers must safeguard their offspring from potential predators such as orcas. The success of this reproductive strategy underscores the importance of energy storage and efficient metabolic regulation in sustaining population continuity. The social and communicative behaviors of humpback whales introduce another dimension to their survival strategy. Males are renowned for their complex and haunting songs, which can persist for extended periods and travel vast distances through the ocean. These vocalizations play a crucial role in mating dynamics and social cohesion, reflecting advanced neurological capabilities and cultural transmission of behavior. The shared nature of these songs, which evolve over time within populations, illustrates a form of social learning that enhances reproductive success and strengthens group identity. Such cultural continuity adds a layer of resilience that extends beyond individual physiology, embedding survival strategies within the collective memory of the species. Ecologically, humpback whales function as vital agents of nutrient redistribution within marine ecosystems. Through their feeding and migratory activities, they facilitate the vertical and horizontal transport of nutrients, a process often referred to as the whale pump. By consuming prey at depth and releasing nutrient-rich waste near the surface, humpbacks enhance primary productivity, supporting the growth of phytoplankton that forms the foundation of oceanic food webs. This ecological role underscores the interconnectedness of the humpback whale with broader marine processes, demonstrating that its survival contributes to the health and stability of entire ecosystems. Despite their formidable adaptations, humpback whales are not immune to environmental challenges. Anthropogenic pressures such as climate change, ship strikes, entanglement in fishing gear, and noise pollution pose significant threats to their populations. Changes in ocean temperature and productivity can alter the distribution of prey species, potentially disrupting the delicate balance upon which humpback survival depends. Conservation efforts aimed at mitigating these impacts are essential for ensuring the continued persistence of these majestic animals and the ecological functions they support. A further narrative reversal emerges when considering the vulnerability of humpback whales during their early life stages. Calves, though born into the protection of their mothers, must rapidly adapt to the demands of long migrations and the challenges of thermoregulation. The nurturing relationship between mother and calf exemplifies the integration of physiological and behavioral adaptations that underpin the species' resilience. The mother's investment of stored energy into the growth and protection of her offspring ensures the transmission of genetic and cultural knowledge across generations, reinforcing the continuity of the species. The humpback whale's skeletal and muscular systems are equally integral to its endurance. The powerful tail flukes generate the thrust necessary for sustained long-distance travel, while the flexible vertebral column accommodates the dynamic forces associated with swimming. These anatomical features, combined with efficient respiratory and circulatory systems, enable the whale to maintain prolonged activity with remarkable energy efficiency. The capacity to dive to considerable depths in search of prey further enhances its ecological versatility, allowing exploitation of resources across different oceanic strata. In the grand narrative of marine life, the humpback whale stands as a symbol of endurance achieved through the strategic alignment of physiology, behavior, and ecological integration. Its survival is not predicated on constant access to resources, but on the ability to store, conserve, and judiciously expend energy across vast temporal and spatial scales. The narrative reversal at the heart of its existence reveals that immense size, often perceived as a burden, becomes a reservoir of resilience when coupled with finely tuned biological systems. As the migration continues and the whale disappears into the boundless expanse of the ocean, its journey encapsulates a profound lesson about survival in a dynamic and often unpredictable environment. The humpback whale does not merely withstand the challenges of its world, it transforms them into opportunities for persistence and renewal. Through its remarkable adaptations and ecological contributions, it exemplifies the power of scale as a survival strategy, demonstrating that endurance in the natural world is often a product of harmony between form, function, and environment. In this majestic giant, the ocean reveals one of its most compelling truths, that resilience is not simply about surviving the present, but about preparing for the future through the careful stewardship of biological abundance. A predator's jaws snap shut around what should have been a decisive capture, yet instead of the resistance of bone or the solidity of muscle, they encounter something unsettlingly fluid. The prey seems to dissolve within the attacker's grasp, its body slipping through the smallest of openings in the surrounding reef, leaving behind only a drifting cloud of ink and confusion. In the span of a few seconds, a seemingly inevitable death transforms into an elegant escape. This is the paradox of the octopus, an animal devoid of armor, skeletal support, or physical rigidity that nonetheless endures in one of the most perilous arenas on Earth. Its survival is not defined by a resisting force, but by evading it entirely, exploiting softness, intelligence, and biological adaptability to transform vulnerability into an extraordinary form of resilience. The octopus represents one of the most radical departures from conventional body architecture in the animal kingdom. As a member of the class Cephalopoda, it possesses a hydrostatic skeleton, relying on muscular hydrostats rather than rigid bones to maintain structure and facilitate movement. This design allows each arm to bend, elongate, twist, and compress in virtually any direction, enabling the animal to navigate through apertures scarcely larger than its beak, the only rigid component of its body. Such flexibility provides a profound survival advantage in the complex three-dimensional labyrinths of coral reefs and rocky substrates. When confronted by predators such as Moray eels, sharks, or large fish, the octopus can exploit microhabitats inaccessible to its pursuers, effectively transforming environmental complexity into a defensive ally. This morphological plasticity introduces a powerful narrative reversal. What appears to be structural weakness becomes an evolutionary superpower. In contrast to armored organisms that rely on resisting physical damage, the octopus avoids catastrophic encounters by simply refusing to remain within reach. Its ability to flatten against surfaces and conform to irregular contours enables it to vanish into crevices where rigid-bodied predators cannot follow. This strategy not only reduces the likelihood of injury, but also minimizes the energetic costs associated with prolonged ସଂഘৰ্ষ. The octopus survives not by enduring violence, but by rendering it irrelevant. Central to the octopus's resilience is its remarkable capacity for regeneration. When an arm is lost to predation or environmental hazards, a complex cascade of cellular processes is initiated, leading to the gradual restoration of the missing appendage. This regenerative ability involves the coordinated proliferation and differentiation of stem-like cells, as well as the re-establishment of intricate neural and muscular networks. The regenerated arm eventually regains full functionality, including the ability to perform precise movements and sensory tasks. Such capacity ensures that injury does not equate to permanent disability, allowing the octopus to recover from encounters that would be fatal or debilitating for many other species. Equally extraordinary is the octopus's distributed nervous system, which challenges traditional notions of centralized control in complex organisms. While a significant portion of its neural mass resides in the brain, a substantial number of neurons are located within the arms themselves, enabling a degree of autonomous function. Each arm can process sensory information and execute coordinated movements independently, allowing the animal to maintain responsiveness even when parts of its body are compromised. This decentralized architecture enhances the octopus's ability to adapt to rapidly changing parasitia, ensuring that localized damage does not incapacitate the entire organism. The result is a form of biological redundancy that significantly enhances survival in a hazardous environment. Camouflage represents another cornerstone of the octopus's defensive repertoire. Specialized skin cells known as chromatophores, iridophores, and leucophores work in concert to produce rapid and dynamic changes in color, pattern, and texture. Through precise neural control, the octopus can mimic the appearance of surrounding substrates with astonishing fidelity, effectively rendering itself invisible to both predators and prey. This capability extends beyond simple concealment. Some species are capable of masquerading as other organisms, adopting postures and movements that deceive potential threats. Such advanced forms of crypsis and mimicry exemplify the integration of sensory perception and motor control, highlighting the octopus's status as one of the most sophisticated masters of deception in the natural world. When concealment and escape prove insufficient, the octopus employs an additional defensive mechanism: the release of ink. This dark, melanin-rich secretion serves multiple functions, including the creation of visual smokescreens and the emission of chemical cues that interfere with the predator's sensory systems. In some instances, the ink forms cohesive structures resembling the octopus itself, diverting the predator's attention and providing valuable moments for escape. This strategy underscores the animal's reliance on misdirection rather than confrontation, reinforcing the theme of survival through evasion. The cognitive abilities of the octopus further enhance its capacity to navigate the challenges of its environment. Possessing one of the most complex nervous systems among invertebrates, the octopus demonstrates advanced problem-solving skills, learning capacity, and behavioral flexibility. Laboratory and field observations have documented behaviors such as tool use, maze navigation, and the ability to open containers, indicating a level of intelligence that rivals that of many vertebrates. This cognitive sophistication enables the octopus to assess risks, exploit novel opportunities, and adapt to changing parasitia, providing a significant advantage in the dynamic and often unpredictable marine ecosystem. From an ecological perspective, the octopus occupies a multifaceted role as both predator and prey. Its diet includes a wide array of organisms, such as crustaceans, mollusks, and small fish, which it captures using a combination of stealth, rapid strikes, and the injection of venom through its beak. This predatory activity influences the population dynamics of its prey, contributing to the regulation of benthic communities. Simultaneously, the octopus serves as a vital food source for numerous marine predators, integrating it into the broader trophic framework of the ecosystem. This dual role underscores the importance of the octopus in maintaining ecological balance. Another dimension of the octopus's resilience lies in its reproductive strategy, which reflects a trade-off between individual longevity and species persistence. Many octopus species exhibit semelparity, reproducing once before death. Females invest considerable energy in the care of their eggs, often guarding and aerating them for extended periods without feeding. While this intense parental investment culminates in the mother's demise, it ensures the successful development of the next generation. This life history strategy emphasizes the continuity of the species over the survival of the individual, illustrating a different form of endurance that operates at the population level. The octopus's interactions with its environment extend beyond immediate survival, influencing the structure and function of marine ecosystems. Through its foraging activities, the octopus contributes to the redistribution of nutrients and the modification of benthic habitats. Discarded shells and other remains accumulate around dens, creating microhabitats that support diverse assemblages of organisms. Such ecological engineering highlights the octopus's role as an active participant in shaping its surroundings, further emphasizing its significance within the marine environment. Human fascination with the octopus has also led to increased scientific interest in its unique biological attributes. Research into its regenerative capabilities, neural organization, and camouflage mechanisms has provided valuable insights with potential applications in fields ranging from medicine to robotics. These investigations underscore the broader relevance of the octopus as a model organism for understanding fundamental biological principles. Ultimately, the octopus embodies a form of resilience that challenges conventional definitions of strength and durability. Its survival is not predicated on physical robustness or dominance, but on the strategic integration of flexibility, intelligence, and regenerative capacity. The narrative reversal at the heart of its existence reveals that softness and adaptability can be as effective as armor and force in the struggle for survival. By transforming vulnerability into a suite of specialized adaptations, the octopus demonstrates that endurance in the natural world often arises from the ability to evade and outmaneuver threats, rather than confront them directly. As the reef returns to its tranquil rhythm, the octopus remains hidden within the intricate tapestry of its environment, a silent testament to the power of evolutionary innovation. Its presence is rarely perceived, yet its influence permeates the ecosystem, shaping interactions and maintaining balance. In this remarkable creature, the ocean offers a profound lesson: that true resilience is not always visible, and that the capacity to adapt, regenerate, and disappear can be as formidable as any display of brute strength. Through its mastery of softness and intelligence, the octopus stands as one of the most compelling examples of endurance in the marine realm, proving that survival often belongs to those who redefine the very nature of strength. A sleek silhouette slices through the steel-blue water before erupting onto a jagged shoreline, its body heaving with exertion as it drags itself beyond the reach of the surf. Moments earlier, the same animal had been twisting through the depths in a desperate evasion, sensing the silent approach of an apex predator. Now, sprawled across unforgiving rock, it appears almost vulnerable, exposed to the elements and the ever-present threat of attack. This oscillation between mastery and fragility defines the existence of the seal, a marine mammal whose survival depends not on a single extraordinary defense, but on an unparalleled capacity to endure relentless environmental transitions. In a world where few organisms can withstand repeated shifts between the extremes of land and sea, warmth and cold, safety and danger, the seal persists through a physiological and behavioral resilience that transforms constant hardship into a sustainable way of life. At the heart of this endurance lies a suite of anatomical adaptations finely tuned to the demands of a dual existence. The seal's body is enveloped in a substantial layer of blubber, a specialized adipose tissue that functions simultaneously as thermal insulation, energy storage, and buoyancy regulation. In frigid marine environments, where heat loss occurs rapidly due to the high thermal conductivity of water, this blubber acts as a critical barrier, maintaining core body temperature and enabling prolonged foraging in icy conditions. Beyond insulation, the stored lipids provide an essential energy reserve during periods of fasting, such as breeding, molting, or extended migrations. This metabolic flexibility allows seals to navigate seasonal fluctuations in prey availability and environmental conditions, ensuring continuity of survival even when external resources become scarce. Complementing this thermal resilience is a highly specialized circulatory system that supports the physiological demands of deep and prolonged diving. Seals exhibit pronounced bradycardia during submergence, a controlled reduction in heart rate that conserves oxygen by prioritizing blood flow to vital organs such as the brain and heart, while limiting perfusion to peripheral tissues. Additionally, elevated concentrations of myoglobin within their muscles enhance oxygen storage capacity, enabling sustained aerobic metabolism during extended dives. Peripheral vasoconstriction further minimizes heat loss and optimizes oxygen utilization, illustrating a sophisticated integration of cardiovascular and thermoregulatory mechanisms. These adaptations collectively allow seals to exploit underwater foraging grounds, that remain inaccessible to less specialized predators, reinforcing their ecological success in diverse marine habitats. Locomotion in seals exemplifies a balance between hydrodynamic efficiency and terrestrial functionality. Their streamlined, fusiform bodies reduce drag, facilitating swift and agile movement through the water. Powerful hind flippers provide propulsion, while the foreflippers contribute to steering and maneuverability, enabling rapid acceleration and evasive maneuvers when confronted by predators such as sharks and orcas. On land, however, this same morphology imposes significant constraints, rendering seals comparatively awkward and slow. This apparent vulnerability introduces a compelling narrative reversal. The very anatomy that confers dominance in the aquatic realm becomes a liability on shore. Yet seals mitigate this disadvantage through behavioral strategies, selecting haul-out sites that offer strategic advantages, such as isolation from terrestrial predators and proximity to escape routes into the sea. In this way, behavioral adaptation compensates for morphological limitation, illustrating the dynamic interplay between form and function. The sensory capabilities of seals further enhance their ability to navigate and survive within complex and often hazardous environments. Their vibrissae, or whiskers, are highly sensitive mechanoreceptors capable of detecting minute water movements generated by the passage of prey. This hydrodynamic sensitivity allows seals to track fish even in conditions of low visibility, effectively extending their perceptual reach beyond the limitations of vision. Large, well-adapted eyes provide acute underwater sight, while specialized auditory structures enable the detection of both airborne and underwater sounds. Together, these sensory systems facilitate efficient foraging and early predator detection, reinforcing the seal's capacity to respond adaptively to a wide range of ecological challenges. Reproduction introduces additional layers of complexity and risk into the seal's life history. Many species congregate in dense breeding colonies, where females give birth and nurse their pups in environments that are often exposed and hazardous. The energetic demands of lactation are immense, with mothers relying heavily on stored blubber to sustain milk production during fasting periods. Pups, born with a limited capacity for thermoregulation and mobility, depend entirely on maternal care for survival during their early development. This phase represents a critical window of vulnerability, as both mothers and offspring are susceptible to predation and environmental stress. Nevertheless, the seal's reproductive strategy emphasizes rapid growth and the efficient transfer of energy, enabling pups to acquire the physiological resilience necessary for independent survival in a relatively short time frame. Ecologically, seals occupy a pivotal position within marine food webs, functioning as both predators and prey. By consuming a wide array of fish and invertebrates, they influence the structure and dynamics of marine ecosystems, contributing to the regulation of prey populations and the maintenance of ecological balance. Simultaneously, their role as prey for apex predators such as orcas and large sharks underscores the interconnectedness of marine trophic networks. This dual position highlights the seal's significance as a conduit for energy transfer within the ecosystem, reinforcing its importance in sustaining the health and stability of marine environments. The evolutionary trajectory of seals reflects a remarkable transition from terrestrial ancestors to highly specialized marine mammals. Fossil evidence indicates that early pinnipeds gradually adapted to aquatic life through the modification of limbs into flippers, the development of streamlined bodies, and the enhancement of physiological mechanisms for diving and thermoregulation. Despite these profound transformations, seals have retained the necessity of returning to land for critical life processes, including reproduction and molting. This enduring connection to the terrestrial environment underscores the evolutionary compromise inherent in their biology, necessitating a continuous negotiation between the demands of two distinct ecological realms. Human activities have introduced additional challenges to the survival of seal populations. Climate change, habitat disturbance, pollution, and interactions with fisheries pose significant threats, altering the availability of prey and the suitability of traditional haul-out sites. In polar regions, the loss of sea ice has profound implications for species that rely on stable platforms for breeding and resting. Conservation efforts aimed at mitigating these impacts are essential for ensuring the continued persistence of seals and the ecosystems they inhabit. Understanding the ecological and physiological complexities of these animals is therefore critical for informing effective management strategies. The narrative reversal that defines the seal's existence lies in the transformation of apparent vulnerability into enduring strength. Unlike organisms that rely on armor, venom, or concealment, seals survive through the capacity for repeated recovery from environmental and biological stress. Their resilience is not characterized by invulnerability, but by the ability to withstand and rebound from the cumulative challenges of a life spent at the intersection of land and sea. Each successful dive, each return to a perilous shoreline, and each rearing of offspring in exposed conditions exemplifies a strategy rooted in persistence rather than dominance. As the tide recedes and the colony settles into a momentary calm, the seals rest upon the rugged coastline, their bodies bearing the subtle scars of past encounters and environmental trials. Beneath this seemingly tranquil scene lies a continuous cycle of exertion and recovery, a testament to the physiological and behavioral adaptations that sustain their existence. In the rhythmic rise and fall of their breathing, one perceives the essence of their survival, a relentless capacity to endure, adapt, and persist in the face of unceasing challenge. Ultimately, seals embody a profound ecological lesson about the nature of resilience. Their survival is not predicated on a single extraordinary trait, but on the harmonious integration of multiple adaptations that collectively enable life at the edge of environmental tolerance. Through their mastery of thermoregulation, diving physiology, sensory perception, and behavioral flexibility, seals have secured a place within some of the planet's most demanding ecosystems. They stand as living symbols of endurance, illustrating that the ability to continually recover from adversity may be the most powerful survival strategy of all. In the vast and often unforgiving expanse of the ocean, the seal's enduring presence serves as a reminder that resilience is not merely the absence of vulnerability, but the capacity to thrive despite it. A fragile silhouette sways gently among the strands of seagrass, appearing more like a drifting ornament than a living creature. Yet, in the very moment a predatory fish lunges through the vegetation, expecting an effortless meal, the illusion collapses. The supposed victim remains anchored, unshaken by the surge, its rigid body resisting the turbulence while its camouflage dissolves its outline into the surrounding flora. The attacker overshoots, confused by the absence of a fleeing target. In this quiet misdirection lies one of the ocean's most profound biological paradoxes. The seahorse, an animal that seems evolutionarily disadvantaged, survives precisely because it defies every conventional expectation of what a successful fish should be. The seahorse's endurance begins with a body plan that appears delicate, but is in reality a masterpiece of structural resilience. Unlike most fishes, whose protection relies on overlapping scales, the seahorse is encased in a series of interlocking bony plates that form a rigid external armor. This exoskeletal arrangement provides significant resistance to predation, making it difficult for small predators to crush or ingest the animal. The armor also reduces susceptibility to minor abrasions within dense vegetation, where constant contact with seagrass blades and sediment could otherwise cause injury. Beneath this protective casing lies a unique skeletal architecture that limits lateral flexion, resulting in the seahorse's characteristic upright posture. While this rigidity compromises swimming efficiency, it simultaneously enhances stability in structurally complex habitats, demonstrating a trade-off in which mobility is sacrificed to gain defensive and ecological advantages. Central to the seahorse's survival strategy is its remarkable prehensile tail, a specialized adaptation that allows the animal to anchor securely to seagrass, mangrove roots, or coral branches. Composed of segmented bony rings and controlled by powerful musculature, the tail functions as a biological tether, enabling the seahorse to maintain position in environments influenced by currents and wave action. This anchoring behavior not only prevents displacement, but also conserves energy by eliminating the need for continuous swimming. From an ecological perspective, the tail transforms the seahorse from a passive drifter into a stable component of the benthic landscape, allowing it to exploit niches inaccessible to more mobile but less adaptable species. The narrative reversal becomes evident here. What initially appears to be a limitation poor swimming ability, is revealed as a specialized advantage that enhances survival in vegetation-dominated ecosystems. Feeding behavior further exemplifies the seahorse's efficiency within its ecological niche. Rather than pursuing prey through energetically costly chases, the seahorse employs an ambush strategy facilitated by a rapid suction feeding mechanism. Its elongated snout acts as a precision tool, generating negative pressure that draws small crustaceans and planktonic organisms into the mouth with remarkable speed. This method minimizes energy expenditure while maximizing feeding success in environments where prey density is high, but mobility is constrained by dense vegetation. The independent movement of the seahorse's eyes enhances this strategy, allowing simultaneous scanning for both prey and potential threats. Such sensory sophistication compensates for limited locomotion, ensuring that the animal remains an effective predator despite its seemingly cumbersome form. Camouflage represents another cornerstone of the seahorse's resilience. Through the presence of chromatophores and the ability to develop skin filaments that mimic surrounding vegetation, seahorses can blend seamlessly into their habitats. This dynamic crypsis not only reduces the likelihood of predation, but also enhances hunting success by allowing the animal to approach prey undetected. The integration of morphological and behavioral camouflage underscores the importance of visual deception in marine ecosystems, where the ability to remain unnoticed often determines survival. In this context, the seahorse exemplifies the concept of masquerade, a form of camouflage in which the organism resembles an inanimate object within its environment, further reinforcing the illusion of fragility. Perhaps the most extraordinary aspect of seahorse biology, and one that introduces a profound ecological twist, is its unique reproductive strategy. In a reversal of conventional vertebrate roles, it is the male seahorse that becomes pregnant. Females deposit their eggs into a specialized brood pouch located on the male's abdomen, where fertilization occurs internally. The pouch provides a controlled environment that regulates salinity, oxygen exchange, and nutrient supply, functioning analogously to a placenta. This adaptation enhances embryonic survival and allows for the production of well-developed offspring capable of immediate independence. The evolutionary implications of this reproductive system are significant, promoting monogamous pair bonds and synchronized reproductive cycles that increase overall reproductive efficiency. What might initially be perceived as an evolutionary anomaly is, in fact, a sophisticated mechanism that strengthens population persistence in environments where juvenile mortality is high. The ecological role of seahorses extends beyond their individual survival strategies, influencing the structure and function of coastal ecosystems. As predators of small crustaceans, they contribute to the regulation of planktonic and benthic invertebrate populations, thereby maintaining ecological balance within seagrass and mangrove habitats. These environments, in turn, serve as critical nurseries for numerous marine species, highlighting the interconnectedness of seahorses with broader ecosystem dynamics. Additionally, seahorses themselves are integral components of complex food webs, serving as prey for larger fishes and marine invertebrates. Their persistence within these networks underscores the importance of specialized adaptations in sustaining biodiversity. From an evolutionary perspective, seahorses belong to the family Syngnathidae, a lineage that includes pipefishes and sea dragons. This group is characterized by elongated bodies, reduced fins, and specialized feeding mechanisms, reflecting a shared evolutionary trajectory shaped by the demands of structurally complex habitats. Fossil evidence suggests that these adaptations have been refined over millions of years, enabling seahorses to occupy ecological niches that remain relatively stable despite environmental fluctuations. Their continued existence through periods of climatic and geological change attests to the effectiveness of their unique survival strategies. Despite their remarkable adaptations, seahorses face significant challenges in the modern era. Habitat degradation, particularly the loss of seagrass meadows and mangrove forests, poses a substantial threat to their populations. These habitats are essential not only for shelter and feeding, but also for reproduction and juvenile development. Additionally, seahorses are vulnerable to bycatch in fisheries and exploitation for traditional medicine and the aquarium trade. The combination of biological specialization and anthropogenic pressures underscores the need for targeted conservation efforts aimed at preserving both the species and the ecosystems upon which they depend. The narrative reversal that defines the seahorse's existence lies in the transformation of apparent weakness into enduring resilience. Its slow movement, upright posture, and ornamental appearance might suggest an organism ill-suited for survival in the competitive marine environment. Yet these very characteristics are integral to its success, enabling it to exploit ecological niches that favor stability, camouflage, and energy efficiency over speed and aggression. The seahorse challenges conventional notions of evolutionary fitness, demonstrating that survival is not solely determined by physical prowess, but by the capacity to adapt to specific environmental contexts. As twilight descends upon the seagrass meadow, the seahorse remains gently anchored, its silhouette merging seamlessly with the swaying vegetation. Tiny crustaceans drift within reach, and with a swift, almost imperceptible motion, the seahorse secures its next meal. The surrounding ecosystem continues its intricate rhythms, largely unaware of the quiet resilience embodied within this unassuming creature. In this moment, the seahorse stands as a testament to the subtlety of evolutionary innovation, revealing that strength can manifest not only through dominance, but also through the art of persistence. Ultimately, the seahorse exemplifies a profound ecological truth, that fragility, when viewed through the lens of adaptation, can be an illusion. Its armored body, prehensile tail, sophisticated reproductive strategy, and mastery of camouflage collectively form a cohesive system that enables survival in environments where many ostensibly stronger species would struggle. By redefining the parameters of resilience, the seahorse illuminates the diverse pathways through which life can endure and thrive. In the vast and dynamic tapestry of the ocean, it serves as a reminder that evolutionary success is often achieved not by conforming to expectations, but by transcending them. A careless step sends a shock of agony racing through the water column, the unseen culprit remaining motionless beneath a thin veil of sand. What appeared to be nothing more than an inert fragment of reef suddenly reveals itself as one of the most venomous vertebrates in the ocean. The predator responsible does not flee, chase, or even visibly react. Instead, it endures, transforming stillness into a weapon and invisibility into a fortress. This is the domain of the stonefish, a creature that survives not through speed or overt aggression, but by mastering the dangerous art of being present without being perceived. In environments where exposure often equates to vulnerability, the stonefish has inverted the rules of survival, turning passive existence into an active defense strategy of extraordinary effectiveness. The stonefish's morphology is a testament to evolutionary refinement shaped by the selective pressures of benthic life. Its body is irregular and asymmetrical, covered with wart-like protuberances and textured skin that closely mimic the appearance of surrounding substrates such as coral rubble, encrusted rock, or algae-laden sediment. This cryptic camouflage is not merely visual, but extends into behavioral and physiological domains. By remaining motionless for extended periods, the stonefish minimizes hydrodynamic disturbances that might otherwise betray its presence to both predators and prey. Chromatophores within the skin allow subtle adjustments in coloration, enhancing its ability to blend seamlessly into a variety of microhabitats. This integration of form and behavior exemplifies the principle of crypsis, in which the organism's survival depends on avoiding detection rather than confronting threats directly. Yet camouflage alone cannot guarantee survival in the dynamic and often chaotic environment of coral reefs and coastal seabeds. The narrative reversal that defines the stonefish emerges when concealment fails. Along its dorsal surface lie robust, needle-like spines connected to venom glands, capable of delivering one of the most potent defensive toxins known among fishes. These spines are not used for predation, but serve as a passive yet formidable deterrent. When pressure is applied, such as when a predator attempts to bite or an unsuspecting animal inadvertently steps upon it, the spines penetrate the intruder's tissue, injecting venom that induces intense pain, tissue necrosis, and systemic physiological effects. This mechanism ensures that the stonefish does not need to engage in prolonged sangharsh or expend energy in escape. Instead, it transforms accidental contact into a powerful lesson for would-be aggressors. The predator becomes the victim, and the seemingly defenseless organism asserts dominance through biochemical means. The venom itself represents a sophisticated biochemical arsenal composed of a complex mixture of proteins and peptides. These components disrupt cellular membranes, interfere with ion channel function, and provoke severe inflammatory responses, leading to rapid incapacitation of the affected organism. From an ecological perspective, this venom serves as a highly efficient defense that minimizes the likelihood of repeated predation attempts. The metabolic cost of producing and maintaining such a toxin is offset by the significant survival advantage it confers, illustrating a classic example of evolutionary trade-offs, in which energy investment in chemical defense reduces the need for energetically expensive behaviors, such as rapid locomotion or territorial aggression. Complementing its defensive capabilities is the stonefish's role as an ambush predator. While primarily recognized for its venom, the stonefish is also an efficient hunter that exploits its camouflage to capture unsuspecting prey. Positioned strategically on the seabed, it employs a rapid suction feeding mechanism to engulf small fishes and crustaceans that venture within striking distance. This feeding strategy relies on the sudden expansion of the buccal cavity, generating negative pressure that draws prey into the mouth with remarkable speed. By coupling cryptic concealment with explosive predatory action, the stonefish maximizes energy intake while maintaining minimal physical exertion, aligning its behavioral ecology with the principles of metabolic efficiency. The stonefish's sedentary lifestyle further enhances its resilience in environments characterized by fluctuating resource availability. By conserving energy through prolonged periods of inactivity, the animal reduces its dependence on frequent feeding and increases its capacity to withstand times of scarcity. This metabolic strategy is particularly advantageous in benthic habitats, where prey distribution can be patchy and unpredictable. The ability to persist with limited energetic expenditure underscores the stonefish's adaptation to a niche where patience and efficiency supersede speed and endurance. Ecologically, the presence of stonefish contributes to the regulation of benthic community dynamics. As both predator and deterrent, it influences the behavior and distribution of other reef organisms. Prey species may alter their foraging patterns to avoid areas where stonefish are likely to occur, while potential predators learn to recognize and circumvent the risks associated with their venomous defenses. These interactions exemplify the concept of trait-mediated trophic cascades, in which the mere presence of a predator, or in this case, a highly defended organism, can shape ecosystem structure and function through behavioral modifications in other species. The stonefish also participates in subtle symbiotic and commensal relationships within its environment. Algae, microorganisms, and small invertebrates may colonize its skin, further enhancing its camouflage and integrating it into the surrounding ecological matrix. This living veneer blurs the boundary between organism and habitat, reinforcing the illusion of inanimacy that is central to the stonefish's survival strategy. Such interactions highlight the interconnectedness of reef ecosystems and the role of individual species in maintaining ecological complexity. From an evolutionary standpoint, the stonefish represents an extreme manifestation of defensive specialization. Its lineage has refined the integration of morphological, biochemical, and behavioral adaptations to occupy a niche where passive defense supersedes active confrontation. Fossil and phylogenetic evidence suggests that the diversification of venomous fishes is closely linked to the ecological opportunities presented by complex reef environments, where structural heterogeneity favors species capable of exploiting concealed microhabitats. The stonefish's success within this context underscores the importance of environmental architecture in shaping evolutionary trajectories. Despite its formidable adaptations, the stonefish is not immune to external threats. Habitat degradation, pollution, and climate-induced changes to coral reef systems pose significant challenges to its continued survival. The loss of structurally complex habitats reduces the availability of suitable camouflage and shelter, potentially increasing vulnerability to predation and environmental stress. Additionally, human encounters with stonefish, often resulting from accidental contact, have led to negative perceptions that can influence conservation attitudes. Understanding the ecological significance of this species is therefore essential for fostering coexistence and promoting the preservation of reef ecosystems. The narrative reversal at the heart of the stonefish's existence lies in the transformation of apparent weakness into overwhelming resilience. At first glance, the animal seems defenseless, slow, sedentary, and exposed within a hazardous environment. Yet this perception is fundamentally misleading. Through the integration of crypsis and venom, the stonefish has redefined the concept of strength, demonstrating that survival can be achieved not through dominance or mobility, but through the strategic manipulation of perception and consequence. Its stillness is not a sign of vulnerability, but a calculated adaptation that minimizes risk while maximizing defensive potential. As twilight settles over the reef, the stonefish remains indistinguishable from the surrounding substrate, an embodiment of evolutionary ingenuity hidden in plain sight. Small fishes continue their cautious movements across the seabed, and the rhythms of the ecosystem persist, largely unaware of the silent sentinel among them. In this understated yet formidable presence, the ocean reveals a profound lesson about resilience, that endurance is not always expressed through motion or confrontation, but can emerge from the quiet mastery of environment, chemistry, and time. Ultimately, the stonefish stands as a compelling example of how life can adapt to the most perilous conditions by redefining the very nature of survival. Its combination of camouflage, venom, and metabolic efficiency illustrates the power of specialization in navigating ecological challenges. By turning stillness into a defensive strategy and invisibility into a shield, the stonefish exemplifies a form of resilience that is both subtle and formidable. In the vast tapestry of marine life, it serves as a reminder that the most dangerous creatures are often those that do not announce their presence, and that the boundaries between vulnerability and strength are frequently far more fluid than they first appear. Sand erupts in a frenzy of motion as dozens of tiny bodies burst from beneath the surface, scrambling toward the distant shimmer of moonlit water. Within moments, the beach transforms into a battlefield. Ghost crabs lunge from their burrows. Seabirds descend with ruthless precision, and predatory fish patrol the shallows beyond the breaking waves. Each hatchling moves with desperate urgency, propelled by instinct toward an ocean that offers both refuge and further peril. For the green sea turtle, survival begins not with dominance, but with overwhelming vulnerability, a biological paradox in which the continuation of the species depends on the near certainty that most individuals will not endure. Those that do survive this gauntlet become living testaments to resilience, embodying a strategy of persistence that unfolds across decades and entire ocean basins. The life history of the green sea turtle is defined by a slow and deliberate investment in longevity rather than rapid reproduction. This approach reflects a classic example of a life history strategy in which survival to maturity is prioritized over producing large numbers of offspring that mature quickly. The turtle's robust carapace, composed of bony plates fused to the vertebral column and covered by keratinous scutes, provides essential protection against many predators and environmental hazards. While not impenetrable, this armor significantly increases the likelihood of surviving encounters with sharks and other large marine predators. The streamlined morphology of the turtle's body further enhances its capacity for endurance, reducing hydrodynamic drag and enabling efficient long-distance travel between feeding grounds and nesting beaches. These migrations, often spanning entire ocean basins, are sustained by a metabolism finely tuned to conserve energy during extended periods of activity and scarcity. A remarkable physiological transformation underpins the ecological success of the green sea turtle. Unlike most marine reptiles, adults shift from an omnivorous juvenile diet to a predominantly herbivorous lifestyle, feeding extensively on seagrasses and marine algae. This dietary specialization has profound ecological consequences, positioning the turtle as a keystone grazer within coastal ecosystems. By cropping seagrass meadows, green sea turtles stimulate new growth, enhance nutrient cycling, and maintain habitat structure for a diverse array of marine organisms. This grazing behavior initiates trophic cascades that influence the productivity and stability of entire coastal communities. The narrative reversal emerges here. An animal forged in a crucible of predation and hardship ultimately shapes the very ecosystems that support its survival, transforming from vulnerable prey into an ecological engineer. Navigation across vast and featureless oceanic expanses is facilitated by an extraordinary suite of sensory adaptations. Green sea turtles possess the ability to detect subtle variations in the Earth's magnetic field, enabling them to undertake precise natal homing migrations. After decades at sea, adult females return to the very beaches where they themselves hatched, guided by geomagnetic imprinting acquired during their earliest moments of life. This capacity for long-distance orientation is complemented by sensitivity to ocean currents, chemical cues, and possibly celestial information, forming an integrated navigational system that ensures reproductive success across generations. Such fidelity to natal sites enhances genetic continuity, but also exposes the species to the risks associated with habitat degradation and climate-driven changes in coastal environments. The reproductive cycle of the green sea turtle exemplifies the immense energetic demands associated with this long-term survival strategy. Adult females undertake arduous migrations from feeding grounds to nesting beaches, often fasting during the nesting period while allocating substantial energy reserves to the production of multiple clutches of eggs. Each nesting event involves a labor-intensive excavation of the sand, careful deposition of eggs, and meticulous covering of the nest to conceal it from predators. Temperature-dependent sex determination adds another layer of ecological complexity, as the thermal environment of the nest influences the sex ratio of hatchlings. Rising global temperatures, therefore, pose significant challenges to population stability, highlighting the intricate interplay between physiological processes and environmental conditions. Despite the formidable defenses of adulthood, green sea turtles remain integrated within complex ecological networks that include both antagonistic and symbiotic interactions. Predation by large sharks continues to shape their behavior and spatial distribution, while associations with cleaner fishes and epibionts illustrate the multifaceted nature of their ecological relationships. Algae and invertebrates often colonize the turtle's shell, creating mobile microhabitats that support additional biodiversity. In some cases, these epibionts may increase hydrodynamic drag, yet they also reflect the turtle's role as a vector for the dispersal of marine organisms across vast distances. This duality underscores the interconnectedness of marine ecosystems and the green sea turtle's contribution to their dynamic equilibrium. The evolutionary history of the green sea turtle reveals a lineage that has persisted through dramatic climatic and geological transformations. Fossil evidence indicates that marine turtles have inhabited the world's oceans for millions of years, surviving mass extinction events and adapting to shifting environmental conditions. This deep evolutionary resilience is mirrored in the physiological and behavioral traits that define the species today. Longevity, delayed maturity, and extensive migratory capabilities collectively enhance the capacity of green sea turtles to withstand episodic disturbances, ensuring their continued presence in marine ecosystems despite persistent challenges. Human activities, however, have introduced unprecedented pressures that test the limits of this ancient survival strategy. Coastal development, pollution, climate change, and incidental capture in fisheries threaten both nesting habitats and foraging grounds. Artificial lighting disorients hatchlings, leading them away from the ocean and increasing mortality rates, while the degradation of seagrass meadows undermines the ecological foundation upon which adult turtles depend. Conservation efforts, including the protection of nesting beaches, the establishment of marine protected areas, and the implementation of turtle excluder devices in fishing gear, have become essential components of global strategies to safeguard the future of the species. These initiatives highlight the critical role of human stewardship in maintaining the delicate balance between ecological resilience and environmental vulnerability. The narrative reversal at the heart of the green sea turtle story lies in the transformation of fragility into enduring influence. The species begins life as one of the most vulnerable organisms in the marine environment, subject to overwhelming predation and environmental uncertainty. Yet, through a combination of physiological robustness, ecological integration, and evolutionary persistence, surviving individuals emerge as architects of coastal ecosystems and symbols of long-term resilience. Each adult turtle represents not merely an individual organism, but the culmination of countless unsuccessful attempts at survival, embodying the statistical improbability of endurance in a world defined by constant hazard. As the sun sets over a tranquil seagrass meadow, an adult green sea turtle glides effortlessly through the water, its movements deliberate and unhurried. The scars etched into its shell bear silent testimony to past encounters with predators and environmental challenges, while its steady presence reflects decades of successful navigation through the ocean's shifting landscapes. In this serene moment, the turtle encapsulates a profound ecological truth. Survival is not always achieved through speed, strength, or aggression, but through the persistent accumulation of advantages that enable life to endure across time and adversity. The green sea turtle stands as a living archive of resilience, a testament to the power of evolutionary strategy in shaping the destinies of species and the ecosystems they inhabit. Through its remarkable adaptations and enduring influence on marine environments, the green sea turtle exemplifies the intricate interplay between vulnerability and strength that characterizes the natural world. Its journey from fragile hatchling to ecological engineer underscores the importance of long-term persistence as a viable and successful survival strategy. In the vast and ever-changing oceans, where countless lives are extinguished before reaching maturity, the green sea turtle endures as a symbol of continuity and resilience, embodying the enduring capacity of life to overcome even the most formidable challenges. A swimmer's shadow drifts across the sunlit shallows, and for a fleeting instant the water appears empty, serene, and harmless. Then the illusion shatters. Invisible threads brush against exposed skin, and within moments the nervous system ignites in overwhelming distress as venom surges through the bloodstream. The attacker was never seen, never heard, and never physically resisted. Instead, the encounter was decided by an organism so delicate in appearance that it seems almost incapable of survival in the turbulent coastal ocean. The box jellyfish embodies a profound biological paradox, a creature constructed from fragile, gelatinous tissue that nonetheless ranks among the most formidable predators and survivors in marine ecosystems. Its endurance is not rooted in armor or strength, but in a lethal combination of transparency, advanced sensory capability, and one of the most sophisticated venom delivery systems in the natural world. Unlike many other gelatinous zooplankton, the box jellyfish possesses a level of anatomical and neurological complexity that challenges traditional assumptions about cnidarian simplicity. Its cube-shaped bell, from which its common name is derived, is not merely a passive structure for buoyancy, but a hydrodynamic engine capable of directed propulsion. Through rhythmic contractions of the bell, the animal achieves a level of swimming efficiency and maneuverability that surpasses most jellyfish, allowing it to actively pursue prey, rather than relying solely on passive drift. This capacity for controlled locomotion represents a significant evolutionary advancement, enabling the box jellyfish to navigate complex coastal environments, such as mangrove channels and reef fringes, where precision and responsiveness are essential for survival. Central to the box jellyfish's ecological success is its remarkable sensory apparatus. Unlike the diffuse nerve nets typical of many cnidarians, box jellyfish possess a more centralized nervous system organized around specialized sensory structures known as rhopalia. Each rhopalium houses a suite of sensory organs, including multiple eyes capable of detecting light intensity, direction, and even rudimentary images. Some of these eyes contain lenses, retinas, and corneas, granting the jellyfish a degree of visual perception unparalleled among its gelatinous relatives. This visual capability allows the animal to orient itself within its environment, avoid obstacles, and actively track prey, transforming what might otherwise be perceived as a passive drifter into a deliberate and efficient hunter. The true foundation of the box jellyfish's endurance, however, lies in its venom delivery system. Lining its tentacles are millions of specialized cells known as cnidocytes, each containing a microscopic harpoon-like structure called a nematocyst. Upon mechanical or chemical stimulation, These nematocysts discharge with extraordinary suora, penetrating the skin of prey or potential threats and injecting a potent cocktail of toxins. The discharge is among the fastest cellular processes known in the biological world, driven by osmotic pressure that accelerates the harpoon with explosive force. This mechanism ensures that even the slightest contact can result in envenomation, effectively transforming the surrounding water into a defensive perimeter. The venom of the box jellyfish is a complex biochemical arsenal that targets multiple physiological systems simultaneously. Components of the toxin disrupt cell membranes, interfere with ion channel function, and induce rapid cardiovascular collapse in susceptible organisms. In ecological terms, this potency allows the jellyfish to subdue agile prey such as small fish and crustaceans with remarkable efficiency. Yet the venom also serves as a powerful deterrent against predation, ensuring that few animals are capable of attacking the jellyfish without severe consequences. This dual functionality exemplifies a survival strategy in which offense and defense are seamlessly integrated into a single biological system. A critical narrative reversal emerges when considering the apparent fragility of the box jellyfish's body. Its gelatinous composition, consisting largely of water and lacking rigid skeletal support, might suggest vulnerability to mechanical damage and environmental stress. However, this very softness confers significant advantages. The low density of its tissues allows the jellyfish to maintain neutral buoyancy with minimal energetic expenditure, enabling it to persist in nutrient-poor waters where energy conservation is paramount. Additionally, the absence of hard structures reduces the likelihood of catastrophic injury from physical impacts, as the flexible body can absorb and dissipate mechanical forces that would fracture more rigid organisms. Thus, what appears to be a weakness is, in fact, a specialized adaptation that enhances resilience in dynamic marine environments. Transparency further amplifies the box jellyfish's effectiveness as both predator and survivor. By rendering its body nearly invisible in the water column, the jellyfish minimizes detection by both prey and potential predators. This cryptic strategy reduces the frequency of confrontations, allowing the animal to conserve energy and avoid unnecessary risk. In ecological terms, transparency functions as a form of passive defense, complementing the active deterrence provided by venom. The combination of invisibility and lethality ensures that the box jellyfish can thrive in exposed coastal habitats where concealment options are otherwise limited. Reproductive strategies also contribute to the enduring presence of box jellyfish populations. Like other cnidarians, they exhibit a complex life cycle that includes both sexual and asexual phases. Following fertilization, larvae settle onto suitable substrates and develop into polyps capable of budding, producing multiple genetically identical individuals. These polyps can persist through unfavorable environmental conditions, effectively serving as reservoirs for future population expansion. When conditions become favorable, the polyps undergo metamorphosis, releasing free-swimming medusae that disperse into the surrounding waters. This dual reproductive strategy enhances both resilience and adaptability, ensuring the species' persistence across fluctuating environmental regimes. The ecological role of the box jellyfish extends beyond its interactions with prey and predators. As efficient hunters of small fish and invertebrates, they influence the structure of coastal food webs, regulating populations and contributing to the dynamic balance of marine ecosystems. Moreover, their presence can serve as an indicator of environmental change, as shifts in temperature, nutrient availability, and human activity can affect their distribution and abundance. In this context, the box jellyfish functions not only as a survivor, but also as a participant in broader ecological processes that shape the health and stability of coastal habitats. Human encounters with box jellyfish underscore the profound implications of their biological adaptations. In regions where these organisms are prevalent, their venom poses significant risks to swimmers and coastal communities, necessitating the development of monitoring and management strategies to mitigate potential hazards. These interactions highlight the importance of understanding the ecological and physiological mechanisms that underpin the jellyfish's survival, fostering a deeper appreciation for the complexity of marine life and the need for coexistence with even its most formidable inhabitants. Ultimately, The box jellyfish exemplifies a form of endurance that defies conventional expectations. Its survival is not predicated on physical robustness or dominance, but on the strategic integration of sensory sophistication, biochemical potency, and ecological subtlety. The narrative reversal at the heart of its existence reveals that fragility and strength are not mutually exclusive. Rather, they can coexist within a single organism to produce a survival strategy of remarkable effectiveness. By transforming vulnerability into an advantage, the box jellyfish demonstrates that resilience in the natural world often arises from the ability to exploit unconventional pathways to success. As the coastal waters return to their tranquil appearance, the box jellyfish continues its silent passage, an almost imperceptible presence shaped by millions of years of evolutionary refinement. Its tentacles trail like invisible threads, each capable of delivering a decisive and instantaneous response to contact. In this delicate yet formidable creature, the ocean reveals one of its most compelling lessons: that endurance is not always expressed through visible strength, but often through the subtle mastery of chemistry, perception, and deception. The box jellyfish stands as a testament to the power of hidden resilience, proving that even the most seemingly fragile forms of life can command profound influence within the vast and unpredictable theater of the sea. The ocean's surface shatters without warning, as a seal, propelled by instinct and terror, is launched into the air by an unseen force from the depths. Beneath the turbulence, a pale silhouette fades back into the blue, its presence revealed only for a fraction of a second before vanishing once more into invisibility. The attack is not merely an act of predation, but a demonstration of evolutionary precision, where speed, stealth, and sensory mastery converge to minimize risk and maximize success. In the unforgiving calculus of the open ocean, where every failed hunt carries significant energetic consequences and potential injury, the great white shark survives not through brute endurance, but through a refined strategy that avoids catastrophe altogether. Its resilience is embedded in efficiency, a design that ensures danger is confronted on its own terms and resolved before it can escalate into prolonged conflict. The great white shark represents one of the most sophisticated predatory designs in marine ecosystems, a culmination of millions of years of evolutionary refinement. Its torpedo-shaped body reduces hydrodynamic drag, allowing for rapid acceleration during ambush attacks while conserving energy during long-distance migrations. The crescent-shaped caudal fin generates powerful thrust, enabling sudden bursts of speed essential for closing the gap between predator and prey. This biomechanical efficiency is critical in an environment where energy expenditure must be carefully balanced against caloric intake. Unlike smaller predators that can afford frequent unsuccessful attempts, the great white operates within a narrow energetic margin, making each hunting decision a matter of survival. Central to the shark's success is its counter-shaded coloration, a form of natural camouflage that exploits the optical properties of the marine environment. The dark dorsal surface blends seamlessly with the deeper waters when viewed from above, while the lighter ventral surface merges with the brightness of the sunlit surface when seen from below. This visual deception significantly reduces the likelihood of detection by prey, allowing the shark to approach within striking distance before initiating an attack. Such stealth minimizes the need for prolonged chases, thereby conserving energy and reducing the risk of injury that could arise from extended struggles with powerful prey. The great white's sensory capabilities further enhance its ability to avoid unnecessary risk. Its olfactory system is extraordinarily sensitive, capable of detecting minute concentrations of chemical cues dispersed through the water. This acute sense of smell enables the shark to locate potential prey over vast distances, guiding it toward areas of high foraging opportunity. Complementing this capability is the lateral line system, a network of mechanoreceptors that detects subtle vibrations and pressure changes in the surrounding water. This system allows the shark to perceive the movements of prey even in conditions of limited visibility, facilitating precise targeting during ambushes. Perhaps the most remarkable sensory adaptation of the great white shark is its electroreceptive system, embodied in the ampullae of Lorenzini. These specialized organs detect the faint electrical fields generated by the muscle contractions of living organisms. This ability provides the shark with a form of biological sixth sense, enabling it to locate hidden or camouflaged prey and to deliver accurate strikes even when visual cues are absent. By integrating information from multiple sensory modalities, the great white reduces uncertainty in its hunting strategy, ensuring that each attack is executed with maximum efficiency and minimal risk. A defining feature of the great white's physiology is its capacity for regional endothermy, a rare adaptation among fishes. Through a network of countercurrent heat exchangers known as the rete mirabile, the shark retains metabolic heat generated by its swimming muscles, maintaining elevated body temperatures relative to the surrounding water. This thermal advantage enhances muscle performance, allowing for sustained activity and powerful bursts of speed in cooler environments where other predators might be limited by reduced metabolic efficiency. Additionally, elevated temperatures improve digestive processes and sensory function, further contributing to the shark's overall predatory effectiveness. This physiological innovation expands the great white's ecological range, enabling it to exploit prey resources across diverse marine habitats. The great white's hunting strategy exemplifies the principle of risk minimization through decisive action. Rather than engaging in prolonged chases or confrontations, the shark typically employs an ambush approach, attacking from below with explosive force. This tactic exploits the element of surprise, collapsing the prey's reaction window and often incapacitating it with a single, devastating bite. The serrated teeth of the great white are perfectly adapted for this purpose, functioning as cutting instruments capable of slicing through flesh and bone with remarkable efficiency. After the initial strike, the shark often retreats momentarily, allowing the prey to weaken from blood loss before returning to feed. This behavior reduces the likelihood of injury from struggling prey, illustrating a strategic approach to predation that prioritizes safety and energy conservation. The narrative reversal inherent in the great white's survival strategy lies in the recognition that its resilience is not derived from an ability to withstand damage, but from an evolutionary design that consistently avoids it. While the shark is undoubtedly a powerful predator, its true strength lies in the precision and efficiency with which it conducts its hunts. By minimizing exposure to risk, the great white exemplifies a form of endurance that is proactive rather than reactive. This perspective challenges conventional notions of toughness, revealing that the most successful predators are often those that prevent adversity rather than merely surviving it. Ecologically, the great white shark occupies a pivotal role as an apex predator, exerting significant influence over marine food webs. Through predation on species such as seals, sea lions, and large fish, the shark helps regulate population dynamics and maintain ecological balance. This top-down control can initiate trophic cascades, indirectly affecting the distribution and abundance of organisms at multiple levels of the ecosystem. For example, by limiting the populations of mesopredators, great whites contribute to the stability of prey communities and the overall health of marine habitats. The presence of such apex predators is therefore essential for sustaining the integrity and resilience of ocean ecosystems. The life history of the great white shark further underscores its adaptation to a high-risk environment. Characterized by slow growth, late maturity, and low reproductive output, the species invests heavily in the survival of each individual. This strategy reflects the energetic and ecological constraints associated with large-bodied apex predators. While these traits enhance the stability of populations under natural conditions, they also render the species particularly vulnerable to anthropogenic pressures such as overfishing and habitat degradation. The conservation of great white sharks is thus critical not only for the species itself, but also for the broader ecosystems they help to regulate. Migration patterns of great white sharks reveal an additional dimension of their endurance. These sharks undertake extensive seasonal movements across vast oceanic distances, navigating complex seascapes in search of prey and suitable environmental conditions. Such migrations are guided by a combination of sensory cues, including geomagnetic fields, temperature gradients, and prey availability. The ability to traverse immense expanses of the ocean demonstrates not only the shark's physical stamina, but also its capacity for environmental integration, ensuring access to resources necessary for long-term survival. Interactions between great white sharks and other marine species further illustrate their ecological significance. In some regions, the presence of these apex predators induces behavioral changes in prey populations, a phenomenon known as the landscape of fear. Seals and other marine mammals may alter their foraging patterns and habitat use to reduce the risk of predation, leading to cascading effects on the distribution of lower trophic levels. Through such indirect influences, the great white shapes the structure and function of marine ecosystems, reinforcing its role as a keystone species. Despite their formidable adaptations, great white sharks are not invulnerable. Environmental changes, pollution, and human activities pose significant challenges to their continued survival. As apex predators with slow reproductive rates, they are particularly susceptible to population declines. Conservation efforts, including protective legislation and international cooperation, are essential for safeguarding these iconic animals and preserving the ecological balance they help to maintain. Understanding the biological and ecological mechanisms that underpin the great white's resilience provides valuable insights into the broader dynamics of marine ecosystems and the importance of maintaining biodiversity. In the final analysis, the great white shark embodies a paradigm of endurance defined not by the capacity to absorb damage, but by the ability to avoid it through evolutionary precision. Its streamlined morphology, advanced sensory systems, thermal adaptations, and strategic hunting behaviors collectively minimize the risks inherent in life at the top of the food web. The narrative reversal at the heart of its story reveals that true resilience often lies in the prevention of catastrophe rather than its survival. By consistently outmaneuvering the dangers of its environment, the great white shark stands as a testament to the power of efficiency and adaptation in the natural world. As the ocean returns to its tranquil facade, the great white disappears once more into the depths, its presence betrayed only by the lingering ripples on the surface. Within this silent departure lies a profound lesson about survival in the marine realm, that the most enduring predators are not those that withstand the greatest punishment, but those that are so exquisitely adapted that they rarely need to face it at all. Through its mastery of stealth, precision, and ecological influence, the great white shark remains an enduring symbol of resilience, perfectly attuned to the rhythms and challenges of the vast and ever-changing ocean. A seal erupts from the surface in blind panic, propelled by instinct and the desperate physics of escape, but the water beneath it fractures into coordinated motion. Dark dorsal fins slice through the swell with surgical precision, converging from multiple directions, and what appears to be a chaotic chase reveals itself as a meticulously orchestrated assault. The ocean, vast and indifferent, becomes a stage for one of its most formidable strategists. The seal's final refuge, a fragment of drifting ice, offers only temporary reprieve before a synchronized surge lifts a wall of water, washing the refuge away. In this moment of calculated violence, the orca demonstrates that survival at the apex of the marine world is not merely a matter of physical dominance, but the culmination of intelligence, cooperation, and evolutionary refinement. The orca does not simply endure hardship. It anticipates, distributes, and neutralizes it through collective strength. The orca's body is a synthesis of hydrodynamic efficiency and physiological resilience, engineered for life in some of the planet's most demanding marine environments. Its streamlined form minimizes drag, enabling sustained high-speed pursuits essential for capturing agile prey such as fish, seals, and even other cetaceans. Beneath the sleek exterior lies a substantial layer of blubber, serving as both thermal insulation and an energy reservoir. This adipose tissue allows orcas to maintain stable core temperatures in frigid polar waters, where heat loss would incapacitate less adapted mammals. The blubber also functions as a metabolic buffer, providing sustenance during periods when prey is scarce, thereby mitigating the energetic consequences of failed hunts. This physiological versatility positions the orca within a biological sweet spot, capable of operating effectively across a wide range of thermal and ecological conditions. Central to the orca's survival strategy is its extraordinary cognitive capacity. Possessing one of the largest and most complex brains among marine mammals, the orca exhibits advanced neurological adaptations that underpin sophisticated social behaviors and problem-solving abilities. The development of the paralimbic system, associated with emotional processing and social awareness, facilitates intricate communication and cooperative interactions within pods. These social units function as cohesive entities in which knowledge is transmitted across generations through cultural learning. Hunting techniques, migration routes, and vocal dialects are not merely instinctual, but are culturally inherited, allowing populations to adapt dynamically to changing environmental conditions. This continuity of knowledge ensures that the loss of a single individual does not equate to the loss of critical survival strategies. The social structure of orcas introduces a profound narrative reversal in the context of apex predation. While many top predators rely on solitary strength, the orca's dominance emerges from collective intelligence and cooperation. Pods, often matrilineal in organization, provide a framework for shared responsibility in hunting, defense, and the rearing of young. Calves benefit from prolonged maternal care and the support of extended family members, enhancing their chances of survival during vulnerable developmental stages. This communal approach distributes risk across the group, ensuring that injuries or temporary incapacitations of individual members do not compromise the survival of the pod as a whole. The orca's resilience, therefore, is not rooted solely in individual robustness, but in the stability and adaptability of its social network. Cooperative hunting exemplifies the integration of cognitive and social adaptations in orcas. Different populations have developed specialized foraging strategies tailored to their local environments and prey species. Some pods employ carousel feeding, herding schools of fish into dense formations before stunning them with powerful tail slaps. Others execute wave-washing techniques to dislodge seals from ice floes, a behavior requiring precise timing and coordination among multiple individuals. In certain regions, orcas have been observed preying upon large whales, engaging in prolonged and strategic pursuits that test both endurance and teamwork. These diverse hunting methods highlight the role of cultural evolution in shaping ecological interactions, reinforcing the orca's position as a dynamic and adaptable apex predator. The orca's acoustic capabilities further enhance its effectiveness within the marine environment. Utilizing sophisticated echolocation, orcas emit high-frequency clicks that propagate through the water and reflect off objects, enabling the detection and characterization of prey, even in conditions of limited visibility. This biosonar system provides detailed information about the size, shape, and movement of targets, facilitating precise coordination during group hunts. In addition to echolocation, orcas employ a rich repertoire of vocalizations for communication within pods. Distinct dialects serve as acoustic signatures of specific social groups, strengthening social cohesion and enabling the transmission of cultural knowledge. These vocal traditions underscore the complexity of orca societies and their reliance on communication for survival. Another dimension of the orca's resilience lies in its capacity to navigate and exploit diverse marine ecosystems. From polar seas to temperate coastal regions and open oceans, orcas demonstrate remarkable ecological plasticity. This adaptability is supported by variations in diet and behavior among different ecotypes, each exhibiting morphological and genetic distinctions aligned with their preferred prey. Such specialization reduces interspecific competition and allows orcas to occupy a wide array of ecological niches. The ability to thrive in disparate environments reflects a combination of physiological robustness and behavioral flexibility, ensuring the species' persistence in the face of environmental variability. Despite their formidable capabilities, orcas are not immune to the challenges imposed by their environment. Energetic demands associated with maintaining large body sizes and supporting complex social structures necessitate consistent access to abundant prey. Environmental changes, including shifts in prey distribution and the accumulation of anthropogenic pollutants within marine food webs, pose significant threats to orca populations. As apex predators, orcas are particularly susceptible to bioaccumulation of contaminants, such as polychlorinated biphenyls, which can impair immune and reproductive functions. These vulnerabilities illustrate that even the ocean's most powerful predators are intricately linked to the health of their ecosystems. The ecological influence of orcas extends beyond their role as predators, initiating trophic cascades that shape marine communities. By regulating populations of prey species, Orcas indirectly affect the distribution and abundance of organisms at multiple trophic levels. For instance, predation on marine mammals can alter grazing pressures on kelp forests, influencing habitat structure and biodiversity. This capacity to modulate ecosystem dynamics underscores the orca's significance as a keystone species, whose presence contributes to the stability and resilience of marine environments. A further narrative reversal emerges when considering the orca's relationship with adversity. While their immense power and intelligence position them as dominant predators, their true strength lies in their capacity for continuity. Injuries sustained during hunts or environmental hardships do not necessarily lead to individual failure, as the supportive structure of the pod compensates for temporary weaknesses. Elder females, particularly post-reproductive matriarchs, play a pivotal role in guiding group movements and foraging decisions, enhancing the survival prospects of their kin. This intergenerational transfer of knowledge exemplifies a form of biological resilience that transcends individual lifespans, embedding survival strategies within the social fabric of the species. Reproductive strategies in orcas further reinforce their emphasis on social continuity. Extended gestation periods and prolonged maternal investment result in relatively low reproductive rates, but this is offset by high survival rates of offspring within the protective environment of the pod. The presence of experienced caregivers ensures that calves acquire essential skills and knowledge necessary for navigating complex marine landscapes. This life history strategy prioritizes quality over quantity, aligning with the orca's reliance on social cohesion and cultural transmission for long-term survival. Human interactions have introduced additional complexities to the orca's narrative. While historically revered and feared in equal measure, orcas now face a range of anthropogenic pressures, including habitat degradation, noise pollution, and prey depletion. These challenges highlight the delicate balance between the orca's formidable adaptations and the rapidly changing conditions of the modern ocean. Conservation efforts aimed at protecting critical habitats and mitigating human impacts are essential for ensuring the continued resilience of these apex predators. In the final analysis, the orca embodies a paradigm of survival that transcends mere physical endurance. Its success is the result of an intricate interplay between physiological robustness, cognitive sophistication, and social cohesion. The narrative reversal at the heart of its existence reveals that dominance in the natural world is not solely a function of strength, but of adaptability and collective intelligence. By distributing risk across a cohesive social network and leveraging culturally transmitted knowledge, the orca transforms potential vulnerabilities into sources of resilience. As the ocean surface settles once more into deceptive calm, the pod disappears into the depths, leaving behind only the fading echoes of their coordinated pursuit. Within their silent passage lies a testament to the enduring power of cooperation and adaptation. The orca is not invincible, nor is it immune to the forces that shape the marine environment. Instead, it represents a masterclass in resilience, demonstrating that survival at the apex of the food web is achieved not through isolation, but through the enduring strength of community and the relentless capacity to adapt. In the vast and often unforgiving expanse of the ocean, the orca stands as a symbol of continuity, intelligence, and the profound interconnectedness of life. The seafloor erupts in violence long before the eye can register the attacker. A shadow descends, jaws closing with bone-crushing force, and in the chaos of sediment and shattered shells, a lobster is seized, twisted, and torn. A claw snaps free, spiraling into the darkness like discarded armor. For most creatures, such catastrophic damage would signal the end. But for the lobster, it marks merely the beginning of another cycle of survival. As the predator retreats with its prize, the maimed crustacean remains, wounded, exposed, yet unmistakably alive, already initiating the biological processes that will restore what has been lost. This is not resilience in the conventional sense. It is a life strategy built on the expectation of injury. The lobster survives not by avoiding conflict, but by enduring it, functioning as a living machine engineered for attrition. Encased in a rigid exoskeleton, the lobster carries its fortress on the outside of its body. This armor, composed primarily of chitin reinforced with calcium carbonate, provides formidable protection against the crushing forces common in benthic ecosystems. Unlike the flexible skin of vertebrates, this external shell distributes mechanical stress across its surface, reducing the likelihood of lethal internal trauma during encounters with predators such as octopuses, large fish, and other crustaceans. The cephalothorax shields vital organs, including the heart and digestive glands, while the articulated abdominal segments allow for limited flexibility without compromising structural integrity. Yet this armor is not merely defensive. It serves as a platform for muscle attachment, enabling the lobster's claws to generate extraordinary leverage and force during combat. The lobster's claws embody a remarkable example of functional specialization. Typically, one claw develops into a massive crusher, designed to exert immense pressure capable of breaking mollusk shells and deterring predators. The opposing claw becomes a cutter, lined with sharp edges suited for tearing flesh and manipulating food. This asymmetry, known as heterocally, reflects an evolutionary optimization for close-quarter encounters, where precision and power are essential. In territorial disputes or defensive engagements, these claws transform the lobster into a formidable adversary, capable of inflicting significant damage even against larger opponents. However, the true brilliance of this system lies not only in its offensive capabilities, but also in its expendability. When threatened, a lobster can perform autotomy, the deliberate shedding of a limb at a predetermined fracture plane. Specialized muscles contract rapidly, severing the appendage while minimizing blood loss through immediate constriction of surrounding tissues. This sacrificial act distracts predators and facilitates escape, converting a potentially fatal encounter into a survivable event. The lost limb is not the end of the story. Rather, it initiates a complex regenerative process that underscores the lobster's reputation for near indestructibility. Regeneration in lobsters is intimately tied to the process of molting, or ecdysis. Because the rigid exoskeleton cannot expand, growth and repair necessitate its periodic replacement. Prior to molting, the lobster reabsorbs calcium from the existing shell, storing it internally to be reused in constructing the new exoskeleton. Beneath the old armor, a soft, fully formed replacement develops, complete with budding structures that will become regenerated limbs. During the molt, the lobster extricates itself from the old shell in a vulnerable and energetically demanding process. Once free, it rapidly absorbs water to expand its body, allowing the new exoskeleton to harden into a larger and more robust form. With each successive molt, damaged or missing appendages are incrementally rebuilt, eventually restoring full functionality. This capacity for regeneration introduces a profound narrative reversal. Injury, typically synonymous with decline in the animal kingdom, becomes a mechanism for renewal. A lobster that has lost a claw is not permanently disadvantaged. Instead, it enters a trajectory of reconstruction that can ultimately restore its combat effectiveness. In some cases, the regenerated claw may even assume the functional role of its predecessor, with the remaining claw adapting accordingly. Such plasticity ensures that the lobster maintains ecological relevance despite repeated encounters with danger. Beyond mechanical resilience, the lobster's physiology contributes to its extraordinary longevity. Many species exhibit negligible senescence, meaning they do not experience the typical decline in reproductive capacity or metabolic function associated with aging in most organisms. Central to this phenomenon is the persistent activity of the enzyme telomerase, which repairs the protective caps at the ends of chromosomes known as telomeres. In most animals, telomeres shorten with each cell division, eventually leading to cellular aging and dysfunction. In lobsters, however, sustained telomerase activity allows tissues to maintain their regenerative potential over extended periods. While lobsters are not truly immortal, eventually succumbing to disease, predation, or the energetic demands of molting, their biology enables lifespans that can span several decades, reinforcing their image as enduring survivors of the benthic realm. Ecologically, the lobster occupies a pivotal role as both predator and prey, participating in complex trophic interactions that shape the structure of seafloor communities. As opportunistic feeders, lobsters consume a wide array of organisms, including mollusks, echinoderms, worms, and carrion. Their crushing claws allow them to exploit hard-shelled prey inaccessible to many other predators, influencing the population dynamics of these species and contributing to the regulation of benthic biodiversity. At the same time, lobsters themselves are targeted by a suite of predators, from large fish to marine mammals and humans. This dual position within the food web necessitates the very adaptations, armor, weaponry, and regenerative capacity that define their survival strategy. The lobster's sensory systems further enhance its ability to navigate this perilous environment. Antennae and antennules are densely packed with chemoreceptors capable of detecting minute concentrations of dissolved chemicals in the water. This acute sense of smell enables lobsters to locate food, recognize conspecifics, and assess potential threats, even in the low visibility conditions typical of their habitats. Additionally, mechanoreceptors distributed across the exoskeleton allow them to perceive subtle vibrations, providing early warning of approaching predators. These sensory adaptations create a sophisticated environmental awareness that complements their physical defenses, forming an integrated survival system. Social behavior among lobsters introduces another layer of complexity. Although often perceived as solitary, many species engage in hierarchical interactions and territorial disputes. Dominance is frequently established through ritualized displays involving claw extension and antennal fencing, reducing the need for energetically costly and potentially injurious combat. Chemical communication plays a crucial role in these interactions, with urine-borne signals conveying information about reproductive status and social rank. Such behaviors reveal that the lobster's survival is not solely a matter of brute force, but also of nuanced social negotiation within crowded benthic landscapes. The molting process, while essential for growth and regeneration, represents a period of profound vulnerability and serves as a critical ecological bottleneck. Immediately after shedding its old exoskeleton, the lobster's new shell remains soft and pliable, rendering it susceptible to predation. To mitigate this risk, lobsters seek refuge within crevices or burrows, relying on behavioral strategies to compensate for their temporary lack of physical protection. The timing of molting is often synchronized with environmental cues, such as temperature and food availability, optimizing the chances of survival during this precarious phase. This cyclical pattern of vulnerability and reinforcement underscores the lobster's existence as a balance between exposure and resilience. A further narrative reversal emerges when considering the lobster's role in ecosystem engineering. Through their foraging and burrowing activities, lobsters actively modify the seafloor, influencing sediment composition and the distribution of other benthic organisms. By preying on sea urchins, for instance, lobsters can indirectly facilitate the recovery of kelp forests, illustrating a trophic cascade in which their presence shapes entire marine landscapes. Thus, the lobster is not merely a passive survivor, but an active architect of its environment, exerting influence far beyond its immediate interactions. Human exploitation introduces a modern dimension to the lobster's story, transforming it from a symbol of resilience into a focal point of economic and ecological concern. Intensive fishing pressures have led to significant fluctuations in lobster populations, necessitating the implementation of management strategies such as size limits, seasonal closures, and the protection of egg-bearing females. Interestingly, the lobster's regenerative abilities intersect with these conservation efforts. Individuals that lose claws in traps can often survive and eventually regenerate the lost appendages, allowing them to continue contributing to the population. However, the sustainability of lobster fisheries ultimately depends on maintaining the delicate balance between harvest and ecological integrity. At the molecular level, the lobster's regenerative and longevity traits provide valuable insights into broader biological principles. Research into their telomerase activity and cellular repair mechanisms holds potential implications for understanding aging and tissue regeneration in other species, including humans. The lobster thus occupies a unique position at the intersection of ecology, evolution, and biomedical science, embodying a living testament to the power of adaptation in the face of relentless environmental pressures. In the final analysis, the lobster's existence challenges conventional notions of survival. Rather than striving for invulnerability, It embraces a strategy centered on durability and renewal. Its armor absorbs the shocks of conflict, its claws deliver decisive force, and its capacity for regeneration ensures that damage does not equate to defeat. Each molt represents a rebirth, a tangible manifestation of resilience that allows the lobster to persist in one of the ocean's most unforgiving arenas. The narrative reversal is profound. The very forces that threaten the lobster, predation, competition, and environmental hardship, also drive the biological processes that sustain it. As the seafloor settles once more into deceptive calm, the injured lobster retreats into the shadows, its missing limb a testament not to weakness, but to survival. Within its tissues, cells divide and differentiate, silently reconstructing what was lost. Time, rather than perfection, is the lobster's greatest ally. In a world defined by constant conflict, it endures not by remaining untouched, but by mastering the art of recovery. The lobster is not an indestructible creature in the literal sense. It is something far more remarkable, a living embodiment of persistence, engineered by evolution to withstand the relentless trials of the ocean and to emerge again and again from the brink of destruction. A sudden flicker of movement inside a narrow coral fissure is followed by a violent, inescapable pull. A reef fish, drawn too close to what appeared to be an empty crevice, vanishes in an instant, seized by a predator that does not chase across open water, but instead transforms the reef itself into a weapon. Within the labyrinth of coral architecture, where sharp limestone ridges and claustrophobic tunnels would imprison most marine hunters, the Moray eel reigns with unnerving efficiency. Its elongated, serpentine body is not a limitation, but a profound evolutionary solution, allowing it to dominate a spatial niche that converts confinement into strategic advantage. Survival here is not about speed or endurance in open pursuit. It is about mastery of the reef's most inaccessible strongholds. The Moray eel's body plan represents a remarkable adaptation to the mechanical and ecological constraints of reef interiors. Unlike the majority of bony fishes, morays lack prominent scales, replacing them with a thick, mucus-covered integument that serves multiple functions. This mucus layer reduces friction as the eel navigates jagged coral passages, minimizes abrasion against rough substrates, and provides a protective barrier against pathogens in a microenvironment rich with bacteria and detritus. Embedded within this skin are specialized cells that secrete antimicrobial compounds, enhancing the eel's resilience in spaces where injuries could otherwise lead to fatal infections. The muscular structure of the Moray's body further complements this design, enabling powerful serpentine locomotion that allows the animal to anchor itself within crevices while lunging forward with explosive precision. In this way, the reef's most hazardous terrain becomes not an obstacle, but an extension of the Moray's own physiology. Central to the Moray eel's predatory success is one of the most extraordinary feeding mechanisms in the vertebrate world: the presence of pharyngeal jaws. Hidden within the throat, this second set of jaws operates independently of the oral jaws, advancing forward to grasp prey and transport it into the esophagus. This adaptation resolves a fundamental biomechanical challenge faced by elongate predators that cannot generate strong suction within confined spaces. When a moray seizes its prey, the pharyngeal jaws rapidly protrude, securing the victim and pulling it inward, thereby eliminating the need for prolonged external struggle. This mechanism not only enhances feeding efficiency, but also reduces the risk of injury or prey escape within the tight confines of the reef. The narrative reversal is profound. What appears to be a simple eel reveals itself as a highly specialized predator, equipped with a feeding system more reminiscent of science fiction than conventional ichthyology. Respiration presents another challenge for an animal that spends much of its life concealed within narrow cavities. Moray eels lack the typical opercular pumping mechanism seen in many fishes, necessitating continuous rhythmic opening and closing of the mouth to facilitate water flow across the gills. This behavior, often misinterpreted as a display of aggression, is in fact a vital respiratory adaptation that allows the eel to maintain oxygen exchange even while remaining stationary within its shelter. By sustaining this constant ventilation, morays can inhabit low-flow environments where oxygen levels may fluctuate, further reinforcing their dominance in ecological niches that exclude less specialized species. The sensory capabilities of the Moray eel are finely tuned to the dim and sediment-laden interiors of reef systems. While their vision is relatively limited compared to that of open-water predators, morays compensate with an exceptional olfactory system. Enlarged anterior and posterior nostrils enhance the detection of chemical cues, enabling the eel to locate prey concealed within the reef's complex architecture. This reliance on chemoreception aligns with their ambush-based hunting strategy, allowing them to exploit the sensory limitations of prey species that depend primarily on visual awareness. The integration of these sensory adaptations ensures that the moray eel remains an effective predator even in environments where visibility is severely compromised. Beyond their individual predatory capabilities, moray eels participate in intricate ecological interactions that highlight their role within reef ecosystems. In certain regions, they engage in cooperative hunting with groupers, forming temporary alliances that enhance the hunting success of both species. The grouper initiates the partnership by signaling the moray through specific body movements, prompting the eel to search within crevices for hidden prey, while the grouper patrols the open water. This collaboration exemplifies a sophisticated form of interspecific communication and mutualism, illustrating how the moray's specialization for confined spaces complements the grouper's proficiency in open environments. The narrative reversal here challenges the perception of the moray as a solitary hunter, revealing instead a participant in dynamic ecological networks that transcend species boundaries. Reproductive strategies further underscore the resilience of moray eels. Many species undertake pelagic spawning, releasing eggs and sperm into the open ocean where fertilization occurs. The resulting larvae, known as leptocephali, are transparent and laterally compressed, drifting with ocean currents before metamorphosing into juvenile eels that settle within reef habitats. This life cycle facilitates wide dispersal and genetic exchange among populations, enhancing the species' capacity to colonize new environments and maintain ecological stability across vast geographic ranges. The transformation from delicate larva to formidable reef predator embodies a dramatic developmental journey shaped by the interplay between oceanic and benthic ecosystems. The moray eel's position within the trophic structure of coral reefs exerts significant influence on community dynamics. As mesopredators, morays regulate populations of smaller fishes and invertebrates, contributing to the maintenance of ecological balance. Their presence can initiate trophic cascades, indirectly affecting algal growth and coral health by modulating the abundance of herbivorous species. Additionally, the shelters occupied by morays often become focal points for commensal organisms such as cleaner shrimps, which remove parasites and dead tissue from the eel's skin. This symbiotic relationship enhances the health of the moray while providing sustenance for the cleaners, exemplifying the interconnectedness of reef life. Despite their formidable adaptations, moray eels are not without vulnerabilities. Larger predators, including sharks and groupers, may prey upon them, particularly when individuals venture beyond the structure of their crevices. Human activities, such as habitat degradation, overfishing, and pollution, also pose significant threats to their populations. Coral reef decline reduces the availability of suitable shelters, undermining the very architectural advantages upon which morays depend. These pressures highlight the delicate balance between specialization and environmental stability, emphasizing the importance of conservation efforts aimed at preserving reef ecosystems. The evolutionary history of moray eels reflects a lineage that has refined its adaptations over millions of years to exploit a unique ecological niche. Fossil evidence and phylogenetic analyses indicate that the development of elongate body forms and specialized feeding mechanisms has enabled morays to diversify across a wide range of marine habitats. This evolutionary trajectory underscores the role of environmental constraints in shaping biological innovation, demonstrating how physical limitations can drive the emergence of highly specialized survival strategies. Ultimately, the moray eel exemplifies the transformative power of adaptation, turning the reef's most restrictive spaces into arenas of dominance. What might initially appear as a creature confined by its elongated form is revealed, upon closer examination, to be an architect of its own ecological success. The reef's fractures and tunnels are not merely refugees, but integral components of the Moray's hunting and survival strategy. Through the integration of biomechanical ingenuity, sensory specialization, and ecological connectivity, the Moray eel stands as a testament to the profound ways in which life can evolve to thrive within the planet's most challenging environments. As the reef settles back into its intricate rhythms, the Moray eel remains partially concealed within its stony sanctuary, a silent sentinel of the coral labyrinth. Its presence is often betrayed only by the rhythmic motion of its jaws and the watchful gaze of its eyes, reminders that within the reef's quietest corners resides a predator of exceptional capability. In mastering the art of living within the cracks of the ocean's architecture, the Moray eel reveals a fundamental truth about survival. That true resilience is not merely the ability to endure adversity, but the capacity to transform constraint into opportunity, shaping the environment into an ally rather than an obstacle.